to get some things out of the way. I was supposed to go live at 3:29, so I'm half an hour early. So I want to take this half an hour to engage into some important conversation. So anybody that is early or anybody that watch the replay, you will Queen Candy, big up yourself. Big up everybody that hit the like button already. Again, remember to smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen, as you're coming. And share the live with 10 people. Encourage them to subscribe and all of that. Alright? Make we start the show now, man. With the anthem now, man. Make we start the show with the anthem. Zin?
10 years, you say. 10 long years and look how Jamaica stay. No light, no road, no food pan we plate. People are suffer while Andrew a live great.
Sorry.
You stand up on the platform, smile wide and proud. I tell we about prosperity, but we can't see it all now. Hurricane come through, and every people be. 6 months later, them still out there, asleep under the air. 10 months, your GLP friends them will high rise, road still full of hope. A house pocket you a fill, while the nation lose its soul. Hospital overflow, picnic can't get bed, no. School roof a leak, but you and Juliet, well fed. You always have excuse, always pass the blame. Every time something wrong, it never go in your name. Jamaica a drown and you claim you're unclean. Biggest hacker in politics we ever seen it. Always time to go. The people, them say no, we say no. 10 years and we can't take no more, you know, hear us. We are not on the door. Always time to go. Time to go. From King to 10 years, you say. 10 long years and look how Jamaica stay. No light, no road, no food pan we plate. People are suffer while Andrew a live great. You stand up on the platform, smile wide and proud. I tell we about prosperity, but we can't see it all now. Hurricane come through, and left the people be. 6 months later, them still out there, asleep under the air. Your JLP friends them will high rise, road still full of hope. A house pocket you a fill, while the nation lose its soul. Hospital overflow, picnic can't get bed. School roof a leak, but you and Juliet, well fed. You always have excuse, always pass the blame. Every time something wrong, it never go in your name. Jamaica a drown and you claim you're unclean. Biggest hacker in politics we ever see it. Always time to go.
Yali, pick up yourself, mama.
Listen up, 10 years and we can't take no more, you know, hear us. We are not on the door. Always time to go. Time to go. From Kingston to Level, the people say so.
We tired, we hungry. Joanne, what's up, Joanne? Event set, pick up yourself.
Farmer can't afford to plant, food price reach the sky. You bring in the poverty while your own people cry. We born you, we grow you, we bleed for this land. But Andrew, at the top won't extend the man. You talk about vision, you talk about plan. But 10 years later, we still can't understand. Corruption report not and nobody charge. The people pocket small, but the scandal them large. Who's crack up parish council, bro? Country,
I'm going to look a bit at that, man.
How when you revise the call, we political. But the truth is the truth, and the truth is biblical. Honest, time to go. Time to go. The people, yes and no.
The word strictly, you know.
Take no more, you know, here.
The word strictly, you know what I mean?
Honest, time to go. Time to go. From Kingston to Negril, people say so.
knows his voice.
Always a time we go.
We know what. Veronica, how are you, darling? We want. Alright, so you're doing alright. Long time and I see you. Big up.
Hurricane victims still on that are falling. Prime Minister fly gone foreign. Your JLP cabinet full, but the people coming empty. Oh, you live so large when we live in so scanty. Not with fist, not with fire, but with voice. Them rising higher. Everybody, every parish, every yard, every gate. Jamaica speaking, and I know too late.
Always time to go.
Time to go.
The people, them say no.
We say no.
10 years and we can't take no more, you know, hear us. We are not on the door. Time to go.
From Kingston to Negril, the people say so. We tired, we hungry, we done with the show. Oh yes, time to go. This one is for every Jamaican.
Every one of them.
What can't afford feet?
I tell you.
We are sleep on cardboard.
We are drive on broken road. The people don't forget.
What a match.
People don't forgive. Enough is enough. Jamaicans will live. Alright, my people, alright. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Like me say, me start early because, you know, I want to share something with you and give you an update about Paul Buchanan case. So, I like the video and share the video, ladies and gentlemen, right? Just share out the video for me, please. Share out the video, share out the video. Desmond, big up. As you talk about Desmond. I'm going to play it, man. I'm going to play this, man. I'm going to play this. Hold on there. No, sir. That one they draw me out. You know what on there, man. Let me play that. No. Lord have mercy. Let me play this here, man. Trust me. That look something I have to play. That little quick shots you have to go play here, man. Somebody draw me out a while ago with that statement there a while ago. This man, your name inspired this.
Red light, yellow light, pepper light. Them pepper spray this man eye. Red light, yellow light, pepper light, go. Red light, pepper light, blue. Pepper spray this man eye. Pepper spray this man eye.
Oh my God.
Red light, yellow light, pepper light. Them pepper spray this man eye. Red light, yellow light, pepper light, go. Red light, pepper light, blue. Pepper spray this man eye. Pepper spray this man eye. Sorry. Red light, yellow light, pepper light. Them pepper spray this man eye. Red light, yellow light, pepper light, go. Red light, pepper light, blue. Pepper spray this man eye.
No, sir.
Pepper spray this man eye. Sorry.
Can't bother. I can't bother.
Take his microphone. Just a minute. Just a minute. Take his microphone.
Red light, yellow light,
Usher him
pepper
out.
light. Pepper spray this man eye.
Usher him out.
Red light, yellow light,
No,
pepper
tears
light.
come from my
Red light,
eyes.
pepper light,
Tears come from
blue.
my eyes.
Pepper spray this man eye. Sorry. Red light.
Oh my God, no, tears are come from my eyes. Anytime I see one somebody named Desmond, I play that song there. Any Desmond will come up in that chat, then pepper spray Desmond eye. I tell you straight. Oh my God, listen, man. On to more serious things, ladies and gentlemen. You know, so we have to have some fun with it. No, I have to have some fun with it. Alright, so let me just forward that voice note. Let me get from Derval. Then, I tell me what I go on, I give me an update. This morning, I wake up and get that update about Mr. Buchanan case. See? Alright? Alright, so blessings, Carl Stewart. Thank you for the gifts. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the super chat is open. You can send gifts. I wanna encourage you guys to become a member of Bolo VNR 2.0. Mickey, Jamo, big up yourself. Asgold, big up yourself. Queen Candy, Trap Setter, big up yourself. Wanna like and share up the video with at least 10 people for me, so we can get the numbers them up in terms of who is in terms of the viewership. Just share it with 10 people, ladies and gentlemen. Alright? And for the persons on TikTok, remember, the goal is 50k likes. So me need enough to beat up the screen. Like when I beat up Andrew. Just, yeah, man. Beat up the screen like I beat up Andrew Honest. Yeah, man. So the likes then can go. Just imagine say I beat up Andrew Honest. Just release the frustration out of your phone. Nobody broke the phone screen, you know. Use one finger and beat up the phone screen like so. Don't bother broke the phone screen. Bless up yourself, Carly. Dan, big up yourself. Alright? Alright, cool. So make we get tonight. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the platform. It's your brother Bolo VNR. And of course, this live stream is mainly centered on what is going on with Paul Buchanan. So I want you guys to listen to this voice note. Zin?
Morning, brother Bolo. But we got to tell you, the court date postponed until Thursday. Yeah, it's about court date. It's about court date postponed until Thursday. Yeah, until the 30. Yeah, the 30 times about case postponed.
All right, so you want to hear that, right? So Moafi, because I went and I looked, you know, and pull up some scripture. I mean, know a lot of people. I'm not gonna go into why it was postponed, but him tell me. I mean, I'm gonna share that. Zine, I'm gonna left that one there alone. But this is what I want to share with you guys. Right? Wait on the Lord, be good, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart. Wait, I say on the Lord. This is Psalms 27:14. Zine, this is about patience, ladies and gentlemen. Another scripture, the Lord is good to them that wait for him, to the soul that seeks him. Lamentations 3 verse 25. All right? Another verse for reference when it comes to waiting on the Lord. And therefore will the Lord wait, that he may be gracious to you, and therefore will he be exalted, that he may have mercy on you, for the Lord is God of judgment. Blessed are all they that wait for him. Isaiah 30 verse 18. I wait for the Lord, my soul does wait, in his word do I hope. Psalms 130 verse 5. My soul wait on you only, God, for my expectation is from him. Psalms 62 verse 5. Conclusion. Friends, no matter how challenging and difficult the difficulties we face, as long as we steadfastly wait on God and rely on him, he will guide us out of the predicament and into the wonderful future he has prepared for us. Let's always maintain inner calm, focus on waiting for God, for our hope comes from him. May we experience God's marvelous deeds and enjoy his grace and mercy as we wait. If you would like to seek further guide, well, this is the website saying that, right? That I saw this on. So remember those scriptures, ladies and gentlemen, about waiting on the Lord. Psalms 27:14, Lamentations 3:25, Isaiah 30 verse 18, Psalms 130 verse 5, and Psalm 62 verse 5. These are some verses about waiting on the Lord. I'd pull them up, you know, so as to give context and read all of them, and I encourage you guys to go and do that for your own edification. Right now, I want to remind Jamaica of, you know, that this battle that we're fighting is not carnal, so it's not physical, it's spiritual. And there has been many warnings that has been given to the wholeness-led administration. This video was the 30th of January, February, March, April, May. This was the 30th of May by Apostle Jeffrey Shutterworth. Listen to this carefully.
Jamaica must observe 3 consecutive days of national mourning, fasting, prayer, and repentance. If Jamaica does not do it, Mr. Prime Minister and others who are listening now, dag nyamwe supper, lunch, breakfast, and dinner, you could build until you bloom. And in fact, you are not going to be able to build anything substantial because the Lord is going to throw it down. We won't even get a chance. So all of those grandiose plans that we're hearing, watch what's going to be happening if we don't repent. Remember 1692, Port Royal, the wealthiest but wickedest city. What did God do? After warnings, so far this year, 2026, we have had 10 earthquakes. Now, remember, as I said yesterday, those are the ones that were recorded by the system. But there were others that were felt, others that took place that were not recorded by the system. If that is not an intensification of the warnings, then you tell me what is. There is a midnight cry that is about to come upon this island of Jamaica. So we can appoint chief executing officer and doing all kind of things.
Chief executive officer for NARA. They say them a plan and got a white Jamaica. Remember good.
And going around making fancy speeches and so on. Watch and you will see what's coming up ahead. Be not deceived, God cannot be mocked. This island of Jamaica is a diadem in the hand of God and must come into alignment, must bow before the crucified and risen Lord and Savior, Jesus the Christ. Jamaica does not do it voluntarily. God is going to cause Jamaica to do so under duress. A word to the wise is sufficient.
A word to the wise is sufficient. Now, in terms of Hurricane Melissa, we have seen the government drag their feet. But, you know, I have come to the conclusion that they're wicked. But listen to the word of God in terms of why they are doing it. Listen to this.
Hear the word of the Lord, Jamaica. Hear the word of the Lord. The plan is to make things as difficult as possible for the people by not supporting them in any serious, significant, or sustainable way, with the hope that in frustration they would move away and go somewhere, go to go live with their family, find somewhere else, so that they would not have the problem or the responsibility to relocate them. So it's a waiting game. I hear the Lord saying it's a waiting game. So yes, you touch a little there, you touch a little there. Nothing significant, nothing sustainable. And the hope is that with the hardship, with the difficulty, and the nigh impossible situations that would confront the people, they would leave in frustration. Can't bother. Just pack up whatever little they have, and most have lost everything. And whatever little they have, it is damaged. But they will just pack up and just go somewhere. Pack up and maybe each up with family, each area, so that those communities, those areas would be left vacant, so the authorities can take them over. Hear the word of the Lord. But I'm here to say today that that strategy is not going to work. The Lord is going to allow it to blow up in their faces, and God is also going to judge them as a result of it. The Lord has heard the cries of the people, and he is about to respond. But also woe beyond to those in Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth who are rapacious, greedy, like the hardwares and those places, those involved in price gouging, yes, profiteering and so on. Those who have been stealing, not because you really have to steal, because some of you are stealing out of greed, and stealing is never right under any circumstance. Those who continue to be involved in wickedness, even though you are suffering, but you are still involved in wickedness, the Lord is still going to be judging you. But his anger, his wrath will be coming upon the oligarchs. And among them are politicians. The Lord is not asleep. And he has noted what is taking place right across the island of Jamaica, and even in the West, and in particular, there in St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, and elsewhere, but especially those two parishes. So there's more judgment to hit those two parishes. There is witchcraft. When I go down there to do ministry, and every week we have to go down, every week we have the teams going down. Every week, at least 2 times per week. Most times 3 times per week. The high levels of witchcraft, revivalism, and then immorality. You see what is happening in the different areas. They have the strip clubs, and you wonder if it's the same persons who were running all over the place before. During the hurricane, immediately after the hurricane, their hearts have become so hardened. You saw what happened, Mr. Clark. You saw what happened with the carnival, so-called carnival. Thousands of them. Where did so many people come from? Under the guise that it is going to cause them to prosper. That carnival bring prosperity to Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth. The devil is a liar.
So, St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland, anybody who want to have their loved ones down there, please make them aware of this video. More judgment is coming down there because of the witchcraft and all the other things that the pastor mentioned. And he's not the only one that has warned about it. Some things is coming very, very soon. I don't know how soon, but as the man of God prophesied, there's some disasters, water judgment coming very, very soon. Mark Stewart prophesied. You understand? All of these oligarchs, they will be. So the point I'm making is, ladies and gentlemen, all of the evil things them that we suspect, well, I suspect, and others that are listening, that the government is involved in, don't think that God is blind to it. Just be patient and wait on the Lord. His timing is the best timing. Vengeance is of the Lord. When you're dealing with Pharaoh, if you read the book, right, with Pharaoh, nobody could stop Pharaoh. And God alone could have stopped him. You understand? And we already heard the prophecy from Pastor Peter Chambers, when he said, the Lord said to him, leave him to me. I will take good care of him. We don't worry about Andrew. Andrew have to go worry about God. And we have to go worry about God too, because we have to go repent. You see what I say? So worry about yourself. Don't worry about Andrew. Andrew bed spread already. Yeah? All of them were involved. You hear the man talk about the man, then we have price gouge and I pressure the people in the ear of them. But them just hit by disaster. God see all of those injustices, and justice will be served, ladies and gentlemen. Let's continue.
You better repent because of what is up ahead. So if you think Melissa did damage, worse is up ahead. I'm going to say it one more time. Worse is up ahead. And I'm going to repeat the prophetic word that one of the reasons the people are not receiving the kind of help that they should have got, said the Lord, that the authorities, they are hoping that the people out of frustration will just leave, left their land, just leave it, so that they can take over. But it's not going to happen. There is a midnight cry that will come upon this island of Jamaica. The Lord will be visiting. Remember, the churches are not going to escape, because one of the reasons this wickedness can take place in Jamaica is that many of the churches are complicit. Where they are not complicit, they are complacent. Where they are not complacent, they are klearos, meaning lukewarm. The same word from which lukewarm comes there in Revelation chapter 3. They are donkia, them don't care, they don't care, them donkia. Hear the word of the Lord.
So hear for yourself. It's an uncaring government. They don't care about the people, ladies and gentlemen. They honestly don't care about the people. I turned to my Bible, and first I was looking for Psalms 37 to read, but it went to another Psalms, and when I read the first part, I said, thank you, God. It says here that the Lord hear thee in the day of trouble. Jamaica, we not trouble, but the Bible said the Lord hear you in the day of trouble. All those who are calling upon him, the name of God of Jacob defend thee. I say that again. The name of God of Jacob defend thee. Send thee help from the sanctuary and strengthen thee out of Zion. Remember all thy offerings and accept thy burnt sacrifice, Selah. Grant thee according to thine own heart and fulfill all thy counsel. We will rejoice in thy salvation, and in the name of our God we will set up our banners. The Lord will fulfill all thy petitions. That means all your prayers them. The Lord will fulfill them. All the things you ask him for. Now know that I that the Lord saveth his anointed. He will hear him from his holy heaven with the saving strength of his right hand. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we will remember, we will remember the name of the Lord our God. They are brought down and fallen, but we are risen and stand upright. Save, Lord, let the King hear us when we call. So everybody, this is Psalms 20, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody that is calling upon the Lord, just remember that the Lord hear it, and your petition will be granted. You understand? So don't worry about the time. The two lessons here is that yes, Thursday is Paul Buchanan's case, right? But be patient and wait on the Lord, and know that your petition will be granted. You understand? All of the persons them, all of the remnant them when I ball out. You see me, I say, we got church when everybody else do something else. Yeah, man. Their petitions will be granted. God not sleep. All of the injustices them with the man them are going with, whether in the political sphere, in the private sector, in the police force, it doesn't matter where them there. They will get judgment and justice will be served. You understand what I say? So nobody worry on yourself. Zine. So Thursday is the date. There's an attempt, ladies and gentlemen, to draw out the case with Paul Buchanan. That's the most I will say. There's an attempt to draw out the case as much as possible. But, as I said, God is in control and God not asleep. So, with that, I just want to remind you guys to like the video and share the video with 10 persons, 10 new people. If you share the video already, if you can find 10 new people, share it to them, put it by your WhatsApp status, whatever the case might be. Alright? God is good. Babylon must fall. No doubt about it. Babylon must fall. Now, let me go here, ladies and gentlemen. Where is that video? Oh, there it is. 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 Oh no, this need to go here, son. And this one need to go to the front. Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen, it's your brother Bolo VNR. Please remember to like and share the video. Let's get to this. Make we hear the Rasta man say right there, so. Zane.
What a match. Spain deserved the victory. They played well. They played.
While Hurricane Melissa victims still suffering.
We find time what about Spain and Argentina. When people in Westmoreland will get affected by hurricane, still not know where to live. I want to take with the people in land, down a parity. I want to let young people house, down a Albion, down a St. Thomas between. I want to find time to go and work up and have TV on the yard. I work out on the pocket their money afford for me, yeah? And not the Jamaican taxpayer money now use to do them something.
What a match.
Well, brief and easy and nice. Rasta not play with Andrew. I don't wrong him. Andrew say the money, I him own money, him use and go to the World Cup still. But giving a man who tells so much lie, I don't know if you believe. What's up, Odin? You know, say I must Odin that. You was at 808. I think I Odin that, you know. Big up yourself, Odin. Who that? Vice of the Nation. Big up yourself, Vice of the Nation. Big up yourself. Vice Nation 876. Big up. Alright, so my find one video, ladies and gentlemen, a long time on Andre Stevens. Who remember this?
Last week him telling, but you see when it comes on to Jamaica, last week him telling us say, "Uno must go stand up the labor right them for go stand up against the PNP then." Listen what he told the labor rights tonight listen what I'm telling labor right them tonight. Listen to this.
All of you must know what your party has achieved in these past 2 terms that we have had. All of you must be armed and seized with the information. All of you must become agents and warriors for the party. We need an army of informed labor rights and supporters who will go on TikTok, who will go on YouTube, who will go on Instagram, who will go on Facebook, who will go on X and challenge the lies and propaganda and rumors that is being spread to create this content. And once you are mobilized in this way, once you have the information, and once the people of the country is informed, then we know that our calling and election will be sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was a moment that, Dave, big up yourself. This was a moment that Joanne, Carl, how you doing? How you doing, Carl? Mass Control, big up. This was a moment when Andrew Honest knew, he was so desperate. He knew that they didn't have any chance to win the election. You understand? His statutory declaration was a real issue. People were looking at him sideways. Even the hypocrite them were not supporting him same way. They were looking at him sideways, ladies and gentlemen. You understand? But how can you be a part of a, big up yourself, Barrington, how can you be a part of a, Mr. Just for you, Mr. Barrington, hold on. Hold on. Yeah, Mr. Barrington, listen, I did a video on it, but Mr. Paul Buchanan, the case was delayed until Thursday. All right. Somebody said it is alleged that somebody said them sick and couldn't make it. They are not well. I'm not gonna say who the person is, but it is alleged that somebody that was supposed to be there said they were sick and could not make it. And I believe it is a tactic to delay the procedure. All right? That is the word that I got. Dana Whittaker, how are you? Unforgettable truth, big up yourself. Right? All right, so back to the reaction now. So, ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Honest is the people that support the Jamaica Labour Party. If you, after 10 years, cannot look and say, and you are engaged in the political process, if you cannot look and say, all right, I see where the government is making real progress, and this is happening and that is happening. You see what I say? I mean, your government failed basically, but let's continue.
Labor rights. We have done well. There is no other government that can claim the achievements that we have claimed. There is no other government that can say they have taken on the major problems of the country: economic instability, high.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. No bullshit, bro.
Yo, this man a make name a lie. He lie. Which economic stability? Him fix and Fim Party fix. That was Mama P. That was Mama P with the help of Mark Jefferson Golding as one of the key legislators in that team to bring the fiscal papers, the fiscal discipline orders into law. That is what brought back the economic stability after the Jamaica Labour Party brought us into disrepute with all the major World Bank and all of those entities. Hold on, because you know, I believe that I need to go for this particular what you call it? Yeah man, me need to go for this, man. Hold on the Jamaica. let me just find this because I'm sick and tired of that, brother. Man, no feel like brethren. And there's people here who might not even know the truth. So it is important that I pull up this particular document. Zane, very important. Jamaica, hit this? No, another one there. There's so much tab me have right here, so. Jail part, mash up the country. Hit this? Oh yes, this is it. Jamaica Labour Party mash up the country. Yep, this is it. This is the tab. Close this group. Close. Thank you. Alright. Where's the IMF document? IMF document. Where is it? Well, that's one of the document. That's another IMF document. I'm gonna need that document here. I'm gonna need that document here. But this goes as far back as the first time they mash up the economy. But there's another one that has to do with the IMF. The IMF itself. Father God, please guide me. Let me find this because it's super important. Please guide me to find this. Alright, so that's not it. That's not it. Not finance. Investigation. No, that's not it either. When I find this group here, I make sure I always have it up because let me see, investigation, that's not it either. That have to do with group 4. Group 4. Watch your name. Mommy, remember somebody on the live, watch your name calling. Alright? Please. Alright, so. Ooh, wait a minute. What just happened a while ago? Oh no. Jaja. Reopen tab. Yeah, thank God. Woo, that was close. Yeah, me need this. Copy this. I'm gonna need that. Yeah, I'm gonna need that document there. Close. I'm going to big up Mystic Sensation because you see when it comes to that information, you see from me learn it from him. I make sure I find the article myself and go read it. Remember me tell you. Yeah man. But let me see. So this article is important because it's coming from a labor right. In 1980, I'm gonna make it go and read, you know, so you can understand the levels. I want to understand something about the Jamaica Labour Party. There's a pattern about them when it comes on to the economy that they can't escape.
This period within the context of the history of the international economy was called. To now hear all the nonsense being peddled about the period of the 1980s just won't cut it, and I will not allow the purveyors of the rubbish to have a field day uninterrupted, and taking more than a cruel advantage of those who have forgotten, those who are too young to recall, and those who were born after this period. This article is dedicated to them especially as my contribution to their clarity relative to our political history in particular. It is not intended to be an anti-SIGA article, but historical facts about a specific time in our political journey as a nation. This period within the context of the history of the international economy was called the Second Gilded Period. The First Gilded Period was known as the Great Depression of 1929. The Second Gilded Period manifests itself in the form of an international debt crisis. with a universal political response of structural adjustment in the form of reconfiguration of the economies of less developed and underdeveloped economies particularly. The response from the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, and the Paris Club was debt rescheduling, restructuring, and debt forgiveness. The finance minister of Mexico in 1982 announced that Mexico would unilaterally reschedule its debt in the first flagging of the enormity of the crisis. The two oil price shocks of the previous decade, coupled with the program of economic destabilization, which incorporated the flight of capital and massive closure of business and loss of jobs, created monumental damages to the tune of some 30% loss of the GDP of the Jamaican economy. By 1976, the BOJ ran out of reserves, reflecting a negative balance, which lasted for the next 20 years, ending in 1996. This is the hand that Siga was dealt, and which he enthusiastically shuffled the deck, as the paramount local political agent of the process of destabilization. Any claim, therefore, that the 1980s was a period of progress is one of aggravated dishonesty. Externally, there were serious tensions in the world. These included the Iranian Revolution of 1979, the Iraq-Iran War of 1980 to 88, the continuing conflict and tension associated with the Arab/Israeli war in the previous decade, which precipitated contortions and distortions, and the reconfiguration on and of the structure of the Jamaican economy in the 1980s. Siga lost control and became more of a reactive functionary rather than a proactive and transformational leader. He responded to the challenges of the crises with abrasiveness, insults, and threats against the Jamaican people. In 1980, when Siga came to power, the Jamaica's debt to GDP ratio was 63%. The debt ballooned to 262% of GDP in 1989, which represents an increase of 315.8% in Jamaica's indebtedness over the 9-year period of the JLP/Siga administration. Any single-digit growth in the economy, in the face of the growth in debt, was of no particular significance and consequence. It must be noted that the source of the minimal growth over the period was primarily due to a reduction in oil price in 1986 and beyond. Contrary to popular belief, this was not due to any successful investment projects nor any new investments apart from sweatshop jobs in the garment industry. David Rockefeller, who came to turn Jamaica into the Singapore of the Caribbean, packed his bag and left Jamaica in less than 5 months of his arrival following several disagreements with Siga. Most ironically, the flight of capital continued under Siga, with ExxonMobil, the principal oil refinery, pulling out of Jamaica. The gas station lines were long and uncomfortable as people who had urgent business to attend to were locked in gas lines for hours. Life in Jamaica began to make no sense. Migration and brain drain gained momentum. The major bauxite companies followed closely behind Exxon, leaving Jamaica. From 1980 to 1983, the JLP government under Siga failed a minimum of 4 IMF tests. And as the pressure of a rapidly deteriorating economy hit Siga, he seized on a distraction of the political crisis in Grenada and called a snap election in 1983. The PNP did not contest, and so the JLP had all 60 seats in the parliament and 21 in the Senate. With no opposition in Parliament, Siga began to indiscriminately wield his axe. This included the tax acts as well as his axing of many government departments, resulting in widespread closures and thousands of redundancies. 18,000 public sector workers lost their jobs. He dismantled the structure of the local government system, leaving the parish councils with the singular responsibility of managing markets and cemeteries bereft of funds. The only duty left for mayors to perform, without authority of the Minister of Local Government, was that of approving the exhuming of dead bodies. The KCC was abolished. Duckenfield and Gray's and Sugar Estates were closed. Monique Teachers College and Jamaica School of Agriculture closed. An auction system introduced where those who wanted foreign exchange to conduct business could apply to BOJ twice per week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Several hospitals were either closed or downgraded, including Ulster Spring, Spalding's, Alexandria, Noel Holmes in Lucia, Hordley in St. Thomas, listed to be downgraded and not obey, etc. The community health aid program was abolished. The spraying of ganja, justifiable or unjustifiable, were damaging other legitimate economic efforts of the rural poor, in particular, beef farmers and coffee farmers. Things got so bad at BOJ that in 1985 a load of crude oil arrived to be offloaded. BOJ was able to pay the cargo ship captain his money. Things got so bad at BOJ that in 1985 a load of crude oil arrived to be offloaded at the Montego Bay terminal, but the captain refused to unload the oil until he received payment from the JLP government. Hugh Hart, as Minister of Tourism and Energy during that time, had to quickly gather up, with the help of the police, US dollar donations from private businessmen in MO Bay to pay for the crude oil. After a successful effort of the JLP government begging private citizens to pay its oil bill, the BOJ was able to pay the cargo ship captain his money. He unloaded the crude oil and left Jamaica shores. One of the manifestations of the policies of SIGA in the 1980s was the dramatic increase of the flow of people on the streets selling for survival.
Jamaica only hear that? The man them couldn't pay for the oil, and because of their history, the ship wouldn't offload the oil until them get their money. You hear what me say? Keith, you have to send me a message on WhatsApp. Number is 876-451-6535. That's 451-6535. If you send me a message, me send you the link to this article. The man that is talking, is a JLP representative, The man we are getting history about Siaga in the 80s, The man was in the party, When I read the full article, you him give him history in the party, This a come from them, Okay, let's continue. What are disgrace economically?
These were the victims of downsizing and right-sizing program gleefully pursued by SIGA. The misery index rose exponentially, and in the 1989 elections, SIGA and the JLP lost 45 out of the 60 parliamentary seats, and 4 years later the JLP lost 7 more in the elections of 1993. This represents a total of 52 seats within 4 years after being in power for the 9 years leading up to the 1989 elections. The ongoing attempt to pass off the 1980s as anything but an ugly and painful period for the Jamaican people is tantamount to the GG being given a throne speech to read in 2011 by the then JLP government that the economy has fully recovered. This after the IMF cut the flow of funds from the previous year in June 2010 to Jamaica, and the national debt in 2011 was growing by an average of over US $10 billion per month. This propaganda is taking advantage of the young and educated, but indolent section of the population that are frequently and fluently repeating the foolishness. Time has passed, and even the present political practitioners need to be refreshed, as they are only human. Equally important, the people need to be refreshed cerebrally. For herein lies the importance of staying the course, for what can happen is real, for it has happened before. If many people are told the extent to which things can get bad and shown dramatically the painfully pathways we have already walked, particularly at the hands of JLP and SIGA, I believe more will believe. Regards, Shalman Scott.
Shalman Scott, ladies and gentlemen. So, when you're talking about economics, for them chief and the biggest name in terms of heads in the Jamaica Labour Party, Edward Siaga, had 60 seats in the 80s. Every seat him have, because the PNP never, the only positive thing that he did was not turn Jamaica into a dictatorship. But the devaluing of the economy, the fall of the economy was absolutely catastrophic. And it's the reason why when PNP come back in the power, the amount of suffering that people go through, them decide that they not give JLP no more chance in the government. You hear what I say? That is what happened in the 80s. Fast forward, I'm still a look for the document. In the IMF document. What the title of it again? IMF Jamaica lending history. Let me see if I can find it by using Google. IMF Jamaica Lending History. I believe that is the name of the document. IMF Jamaica Lending History. I only hear much IMF testing fail. I think I hit this case study. Let it be it. Yes! Father God, me love you. See it here, Jamaica. We can continue the reaction now. That was still good for you guys to listen to a while ago with Shalman Scott. But let's go here. Let me play back with Andrew Ones a while ago. I'm sure you said that brother you're a liar. And we said that without apology because we have a proof. Listen to this.
That can say they have taken on the major problems of the country.
When you hear
We
that,
have done well. There is no other government that can claim the achievements that we have claimed. There is no other government that can say they have taken on the major problems of the country. Economic instability, high debt.
Stop right there, sir. Economic instability and high debt. We're not have to go no further. That's what the article talk about. Program ownership and design. After debt exchange in 2010 and yet another IMF supported program that went off track in 2011. Let me read that again. I'm going to show you. This is the IMF official website, ladies and gentlemen. Source, the best source to go to find out about the history of Jamaica and the IMF. Good. What this say? Program ownership and design. I'm me make a computer read it so you can hear it on the because I don't want to feel like say me I read nothing out of mine. Listen to this.
Off track into program ownership and design. After a debt exchange in 2010 and yet another IMF-supported program that went off track, in 2011, the country was on the verge of an economic meltdown with no access to international capital markets. Jamaica once again turned to the IMF in spring 2013 for
Stick a pin. After a debt exchange in 2010 and yet another IMF program, supported program that went off track. That means it not going, you know, when one train upon the track and it runs smooth, go to it go in a direction. Under the Jamaica Labour Party in 2010, ladies and gentlemen, the IMF supported program went off track. The country was on the verge of economic meltdown with no access to international capital market. What is Andrew Ones talking about? But his government is the only one that can claim that they fixed the economy. His government destroyed the economy. He was a part of the government under Bruce Golding. He was such a part of it that when Bruce Golding was kicked out, ladies and gentlemen, he became the minister. He come like him have amnesia, like him never remember saying the day when the whole thing fall apart. What can go so?
What can go so?
Zine, the country was on the verge of economic meltdown with no access to international capital market. The IMF, the World Bank, nobody was talking to us. This is well documented. No, we couldn't borrow no money. You see what here when Andrew Ones boast about how the government could have borrowed how much money from these entities after the storm? If it was up to the Jamaica Labour Party alone, we would have still been in a hell with the IMF because of what they did. They took a deal and they abandoned the deal. They did not even attempt the test. Because you know you have to pass the IMF test them. They didn't even attempt the test them, ladies and gentlemen. Them do what they want to do. And the word internationally is that the World Bank and IMF especially, they wanted Jamaica economy to crash because of the disrespect of the Jamaica Labour Party. Unfortunately, they didn't care about PMP and JLP. They put the same blame on the PMP when they come in, right? They say the government of Jamaica did this, so the PMP had to bear the burden of the violations that the JLP violated the IMF. Mama P had to go on her knees and beg the IMF to see them in our meeting. It took them about a year and plus to negotiate a deal. And the deal was so strict that nobody expect the PNP to pass the deal. To the point where the People's National Party, and let me go down to the part where we talk about that now. Let me go down to the part where we talk about that so we can get understanding. Listen to this.
For financial support. With its preceding weak track record of reform, significant budget financing from international and development partners was less forthcoming. Jamaica needed a second debt exchange and a primary surplus of 7.5% of GDP to help stabilize the economy and address long-standing structural challenges.
Ladies and gentlemen, you see that 7.5% of GDP to help stabilize the economy. You hear what them say? To help stabilize the economy. This happened in 2013. Who was the Prime Minister in 2013? Mama P. This is why the People's National Party considered to look at the NHT, and even though it was a consideration, they were reluctant. They actually went overseas to have an international agency do some probing into the finances of the NHT to ascertain whether or not it would hurt the NHT and its purpose if they were to take money from it temporarily, only for about 3 years. You understand? 3 or 4 years, something to that effect. So there was a law put in place to take the money from the NHT just to supplement this 7.5% until the economy was stabilized. Ladies and gentlemen, I tell you no lies. This is the IMF document, and you can go look up more for yourself and do your own reading. Now I'm a big up. Anybody want this document, you can reach out to me and I will give you the document. Send me a WhatsApp message. The number is 876-451-6535. 876-451-6535. I will send you both documents. This is the unadulterated truth of the matter, ladies and gentlemen. The PNP was reluctant to take the money from the NHT because the NHT is for the people and to build them house. But when the international company gave them the data and said to them, no man, it won't affect the operations. Just as long as you only take it for 3 or 4 years. Them say, all right then, we are going to do it to get the 7.5%, the primary surplus of 7.5% of GDP. I am not a genius. I learned this from Ralston Hyman, and I learned it from Mystic Sensation. And when I go and look at the information myself, I said, mighty God, how the Jamaica Labour Party so lie? How them feel lie about something when they are the one that destroyed the economy in 2010. The country was on the verge of economic meltdown, and the IMF and the international capital markets, they were not seeing us. Once you violate the IMF, you know, nobody now look on you, understand this, you know. Any country that violate the IMF deal, World Bank, any other entities, them now see you. But Mama P, because she was a woman, it helped us. And she went to another woman, Miss Lagarde. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go for that clip. I'm going to show you something. Let me find that clip. Let me find the clip with Miss Lagarde. Because I have it in my evidence file. You know. I'm going to show you something, ladies and gentlemen. See? Because this has to stop. The lies must stop. And if we have to repeat the truth over and over again to battle the lies, we are going to continue to do it because we are stand for righteousness. The man them to stop it, man. The man too lie, brethren. The man tell blatant lies. And the people them where they're ignorant and don't read and don't do no research, then gobble it up and then they run go and vote. Hold on. All right, my brother. Let's see you. Yeah, brother, I see you. I'm up on the live, you know. I'm up on the live. If you want the 2 clip them, just send me a message and confirm say it you want here. Let me find this with Miss Lagarde, ladies and gentlemen. Big up on yourself, everybody on the live. Wanna share the live again for me there with 10 more people. Share the live with 10 more people. And you know, it's funny, the video that I'm about to play right now, when I look at the views on it after how much years, I realize that a lot of people have not watched this video. When Miss Lagarde came here, you understand? And it's because Mama P and the People's National Party, and we have to give respect to the finance minister at the time. The man was brilliant. The man was brilliant, ladies and gentlemen. And we have to speak the truth. The man was brilliant. Right? The finance minister for the People's National Party was brilliant. Zine, let me see, somebody else send me a message. Oh no. Me have my phone right so you know. So anytime I'm ready, guys, I don't want me to send on the clip. May I send on the clip here? Yeah man. The two article them. Let nobody fool on them, man. See it here? IMF visit to Jamaica. Alright, got it. Got it. Zine, where is this? Alright, so here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. See the clip here with the IMF. See it here? IMF visits Jamaica. I want to listen carefully to what Miss Lagarde is saying. Kind of low still.
As you
had been pending for
million US dollars.
in the first year of program implementation, key reforms that had been pending for a long time were implemented. In particular, the tax incentive legislation approved by Parliament in December 2013 and the fiscal rule approved in March 2014. But there are other major reforms that are...
Jamaica, want to hear that? The fiscal rule that was approved March 2014. Mama P was in power. Is the PMP put in the fiscal rule then? So you see the previous article me show with the date and time. In 2011, what happened? We were on the verge of economic meltdown with no access to the IMF capital market. So who give it access? Mama P and the PMP. Don't make them fool, you know. The volume is low, but we can't do nothing more that splash digi. Hold on, let me see if we can do something more. Okay, you know. Let me see, desktop. Hold on. Let me see. You want a bit more volume. Don't worry yourself, my general. Thank you for making me know. I'm going to make it up. I'm going to make it up. Zane, 500 volume. On that. That is it. That's supposed to be sufficient. Alright. Yeah, so we adjust the volume. I could get back to Miss Lagarde now. I could play that again for the people. Zane.
In the first year of program implementation, key reforms that had been pending for a long time were implemented. In particular, the tax incentive legislation approved by Parliament in December 2013 and the fiscal rule approved in March 2014. But there are other...
So the fiscal rule approved. I hope the volume is better, guys. Right? Splash is the volume better, right? So the fiscal rules, March 2014. Perfect? Wonderful. So the fiscal rules was put together. The legal. This is the reason why we are on course. You know, we were on course. Excuse me. Before the Hurricane Melissa, we were on course to reach a point where our the space would have opened for an opportunity for a government that is prudent to open the growth of the economy because of the fiscal rules. The fiscal rules were loosened because of Hurricane Melissa, right? And the government still has not found a way to actually grow the economy or help the people them that lost everything on them business to get back on their feet. Zine, let's continue.
other major reforms that are on the must-do list, including improving the collection of taxes so that there is no evasion and there is collection, modernizing the public sector and improving the business climate.
So, ladies and gentlemen, one of the key things that she mentioned there was improving tax collection. I don't know if you guys remember one of the recommendations that the PNP was making in the recent budget speech, where Julian Robinson was talking about putting a system in place to tighten on tax collection, not adding more taxes. He was trying to show the government that adding more taxes after Hurricane Melissa is cruel. No other government has ever done that. And another thing to that I forgot to mention, the PNP was reluctant to take from the NHT. Andrew Ones was bashing the PNP. How could you rob from the people and take them partner draw? What has he been doing in the last 10 years? Every year him rob them. And him a plan for rob we for the next 5 years again. Oh, now it's we don't have any choice. Although the PNP put the fiscal papers in place in law, to stabilize the economy, this government is either wicked or incompetent, where they cannot grow the economy without using, and they haven't even been able to grow the economy, so I can't even say that. It shows you how lame they are. It's either they don't know what they're doing, or what they're doing is sinister against the people of Jamaica. You understand? You have the NHT money still using in the economy, but you can't grow the economy. And the PNP only did it to stabilize the economy temporarily, but you have been using that extra, how much $1 billion every single year, and now you plan to use it more, and then you add $18 million tax ban with this $18 billion more tax on us this year. And people want to tell me about this government is fiscally prudent. Listen, I am not a economic whiz, but me can do maths. I can do maths. If before the PNP only used it to stabilize the economy to the point where it never needed to be used anymore, it means now the economy should be able to stand on its own. But you know why the economy can't stand on its own? Because the Jamaica Labour Party government are thief. $3 trillion unaccounted for, ladies and gentlemen, in one period, and other trillions has been added to that. Thank God for the Auditor General that makes us aware of these things. So when Andrew is coming to talk about, they're fiscally, we are the only government that can claim that we have fixed the economic problem. Listen to him again. Yo, me say the man lie. Me say me so happy when we find that clip here last night.
We have done well. There is no other government that can claim the achievements that we have claimed. There is no other government that can say they have taken on the major problems of the country: economic instability, high debt, high taxation, high unemployment, high crime and murders.
The crime and murder, never left that alone. Taxation, debt, economic stability, that is the PNP. They gave them rules to follow by law. You understand? So they could not go against it. After them already destroyed the economy. I remember go back to something again. In 2010, 2011, the country was on the verge of economic meltdown. Not my word. The IMF lending case study for Jamaica said that. The public said enough is enough. The Economic Program Oversight Committee was formed so that stakeholders from the private sector, unions, government, academia, and the media could come together to hold the government accountable for its reform commitments and fiscal discipline under the reform program. This reform program was in 2014. It was established by the PNP. With that, as described, Finance Minister Nigel Clark said what began as the IMF program became Jamaica's program with the IMF support. The People's National Party did this, ladies and gentlemen. Not the Jamaica Labour Party. The truth is just the truth. I have given you 2 instances where the Jamaica Labour Party, under their 2 greatest leaders, right? At the time, Bruce Golding was the leader, yes, but Andrew Holness was an important part of that cabinet. He was an important part of the leadership body. Again, he became the prime minister after Bruce had to step away. You understand what I'm saying? And given his own history in the last 10 years, it tells you that he's no more capable than Bruce Golding. Because even with the fiscal papers and the legalities, he has not been able to grow the economy to at least to 2%. He has not been able to do it. Zane? Yes, you're right, Esquire. You're right. The PMP was so phenomenal in passing all the IMF tests. The man must say, yo, Bridget, the man them actually do it. Like, them didn't expect them to feel the same way, you know? You don't understand. The challenge. I wish I could pull up the clip where Mark Golding said the level of detail, there were dates and timestamps for the PMP to achieve certain things. It was so hard, ladies and gentlemen. They had sleepless nights, weekends, where they're not supposed to work and them at work, to put the legislation in place. It wasn't just get it done, it was get it done at this time or else. It was a very meticulous operation, a group operation. Many different people were a part of the success of this thing. And Mark Golding was at the center of it, where the fiscal papers is concerned, where the legalities are concerned. You understand what I deal with? Me don't want nobody listen after I watch this, let nobody fool you. Let me go back and show you something about the 80s, how terrible it was. Outside of the other intricate details, 2 things you must remember. The Jamaica Labour Party under Edward Seaga had all 60 seats. He could do anything he wanted. He had all the power. Then, and in the 1980, Seaga came to power, Jamaica's debt to GDP was 63%. The same 63% that we need to get back to, you know. I hope you remember, you know. The same 63% that we need to get back to. We remember when Mark Golding was at, I'm going to find it. Hold on there. I'm going to find it. I don't want to remember. May I go all the way with the lesson today. May I go find it. When you like and share the video, ladies and gentlemen, me feel like we need to do this. The debate between Andrew Holness and Mark Golding. May I go find it. May I go find it. Andrew Holness was so out of the loop in terms of knowing the numbers them that Mark Golding embarrassed him in the debate, the national leader debate. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you guys. Wanna just be patient with me, please. This is worth it. This is gonna be, when I put out this video, I want you guys to watch it and share it, because I'm recording it. When I put out this video with the evidence, I want you guys to watch it and share it. Anytime you hear any labor right come talk about the economy and JLP and the best, yo, shut them down with this information. Shut them down. See it here.
Weaponize these things, because that is the only crutch he has to stand.
Of 3 general election debates organized by the Jamaica Debates Commission, staged before a live studio audience. The debate. Send us your questions.
Members of Parliament who are under investigation for illicit enrichment, a serious corruption offense. 2.5% to 3% of GDP of additional resources, which were not previously budgeted for in the fiscal policy. This is at the cusp. In particular, the Integrity Commission, largely because it is well known that there are these 10 members of parliament who are under investigation for illicit enrichment, a serious corruption offence, of which the only one to be known is the one for whom a report has been completed and sent to the parliament, which is you, Andrew. As a result of that, they have done their very best to try to neuter that critical institution, including the Prime Minister, bringing that institution to court to undermine its effectiveness and indeed eliminate it entirely.
You say yes or no.
Hey, I one thing, you know. Marky G, what go and fluffy girl? Marky G, when I go hard from Andrew, you know. You know that, yo, you man step on his neck, you know that snare, man.
Golding, Keith Duncan says the PNP's proposal to increase the income tax threshold to 3.5 million is impractical and impossible to fund without new taxes. Can you explain how these planned tax breaks will work without hurting the economy?
The context in which we have decided to increase the threshold to 3.5 million is the hollowing out of the middle class in this country. Working families finding it extremely difficult to make ends meet. And we believe with the debt to GDP ratio having now, after 13 and a half years of belt tightening and austerity, having now reached the cusp of the target of 60% of GDP introduced into the fiscal rules in law under Portia Simpson Miller, this is a time, this year it's expected actually, with the readjustment of the definition and calculation of GDP, this is the year that we expect to achieve that target. That will release 2.5% to 3% of GDP of additional resources, which were not previously budgeted for in the fiscal policy paper. That is more than sufficient to pay for our entire program, including the $3.5 million increase to 3.5 million of the tax threshold, which will make our civil servants and our middle managers, and indeed most of Jamaicans who are presently suffering under the high burden of the cost of living, have money that they can spend, they can fix up their homes, extend their homes with a room, buy a car if they don't have one, pay down debt where they may be in arrears. It is necessary to preserve the country from brain drain and to keep the society intact.
Dr. Holness now has the opportunity to respond.
The hollowing out of the middle class is an act of the PNP. They totally decimated the middle class. It is the Jamaica Labour Party that introduced the increase in the non-tax threshold that recreated a middle class in Jamaica. In fact, when you look at the salary profile of PAYE contributors, you would see that their salaries have all risen. It is the Jamaica Labour Party through the compensation review that has increased salaries by over 200 billion Jamaican dollars for public sector workers. The current proposal of the PNP is unworkable. Two Labour Party through the compensation review that has increased salaries by over 200 billion Jamaican dollars for public sector workers. The current proposal of the PNP is unworkable.
It's now time for a question from social media. We're going.
Shania ID. What would politicians?
The question, you have 90 seconds to answer, and we begin with Dr. Holness.
Strong against an investigate forensic auditor. Reporting the make and that
companies had transactions $1 million
and against corruption.
Mr. Golding has the opportunity to respond to that social media question as well.
Andrew, what they know about you is that you have 28 bank accounts, that you received several $1 million in cash deposits from anonymous donors in your bank account. Companies had transactions of over $400 million, several thousand transactions between them, and that Positive Jamaica Foundation, a non-profit which you are intimately connected with, provided resources which you use for personal investments through your personal company. We have signed the Leadership Code of Conduct developed by Integrity Commission. All of our spokespersons and myself have signed. None of your people have signed. I am committed to ensuring that all members of the executive, when we form government, will have their Integrity Commission declarations published, not just the leader of the opposition and what should happen, but hasn't happened in your case because you're not certified, the Prime Minister. So the whole question that was asked is an excellent question. And we really need to step up our vigilance against corrupt behavior, nepotism, and cronyism. The volume of scandals under this Jamaica Labour Party government is unprecedented. Over the number of ministers who had to be removed from frontline duty, many of them parked in the naughty corner in OPM rather than being sacked. It is a disgrace to the country, and your personal situation where you're operating under a deep cloud because your Integrity Commission declarations are not certified also is something which Jamaica cannot go forward with.
We'll now take a short break and we invite you to stay tuned.
Boy, I'm trying to look for this.
Welcome back to the Leaders Debate presented by the Jamaica.
Most fundamentally, the issue really is elected. We're not going to be elected to maintain.
PNP's assertion that it can fund the proposal through projected revenue growth doesn't seem to take into, as well as organic revenue growth, doesn't seem to take into account increase in expenditure. That's also projected, as well as low growth rates that no government in recent years has managed to overcome. Isn't it true that your numbers just don't add up?
The fiscal policy paper does project over the next 3 years some $160 billion of additional revenue. The degree to which there are accompanying expenses will depend on how we manage the expense size budget. There's also the fact that there's $360 billion of programs in the budget that represent the priorities of a given government at a particular point in time. When we are elected, we're not going to be elected to maintain the current trajectory that Jamaica's on. People want to see change. And most fundamentally, the issue really is the fact that we are coming to the end of the period of austerity, the period where Jamaica has been for 13 and a half years, steadfastly paying down debt. So the debt to GDP ratio, which we inherited at 147% of GDP at the beginning of 2012, is now, in this fiscal year, projected to achieve the target of 60% of GDP. Once that happens, we no longer have to reduce debt as a priority. We just have to maintain that debt profile. That will release resources of 2.5% to 3% of GDP, which is close to $90 billion of additional resources, which no longer have to be part of your primary surplus target. So we will be able to fund our program quite comfortably come April next year, when the fiscal year starts.
Dr. Holness,
there is a song which says, when the rum tells you you're a big dancer. I don't know what the leader of the opposition was drinking. Firstly, the debt to GDP for this fiscal year is not projected to be 60%. It is projected to be 65% thereabouts. If the leader of the opposition is depending on growth to provide the revenues for $75 billion of expenditure, the country would have to grow between 8 and 10%, which has not done that since the 60s. Thirdly, yes, there are $300 billion of programs. What are these programs? Pharmaceuticals.
Thank you, Dr. Holness. Thank you, Dr. Holness. Our next question is from Giovanni Dennis, and it goes to Dr. Holness.
Dr. Holness, government not
well, that principle, National Assistant. Just before I respond, just to point out that Mr. Holness's data is not current. The Fiscal Commissioner issued a release, I think it was today actually, indicating that with the National System of Accounts being updated, GDP has been adjusted, and we're now at 62% of GDP. That's what the debt is at the end of March this year, and we more than likely achieve 60% this fiscal year.
Me find in Jamaica, this alright, that's what I look for. Wanna hear that? Andrew Holness did not know his data. You know, some Rasta and I talk about this right after. The man say he can't believe some man embarrassing himself upon the debate. He was not up to date with the data, and Mark Golding was. So his trajectory about the 60% was actually on point. And people watch the debate and still vote for Labour, right, brother? The man them don't know what them a do. The man them don't know what them a do. Let me go here, so cause this add to this a reaction here. So me find it, ladies and gentlemen. Me find it to no hear this.
Welcome back to the Leaders Debate Direct
Jack's proposal, Mr. Golding.
Segment with a question for Mr. Mark Golding.
Going back to the income tax proposal, Mr. Golding, because several people have been taking issue with your numbers. The PNP's assertion that it can fund the proposal through projected revenue growth doesn't seem to take into, as well as organic revenue growth, doesn't seem to take into account increase in expenditure. That's also projected, as well as low growth rates that no government in recent years has managed to overcome. Isn't it true that your numbers just don't add up?
The fiscal policy paper does project over the next 3 years some $160 billion of additional revenue. The degree to which there are accompanying expenses will depend on how we manage the expense size of the budget. There's also the fact that there's $360 billion of programs in the budget that represent the priorities of a given government at a particular point in time. when we are elected, we're not going to be elected to maintain the current trajectory that Jamaica is on. People want to see change. And most fundamentally, the issue really is the fact that we are coming to the end of the period of austerity, the period where Jamaica has been for 13 and a half years, steadfastly paying down debt. So that the debt to GDP ratio, which we inherited at 147% of GDP at the beginning of 2012, is now, in this fiscal year, projected to achieve the target of 60% of GDP. Once that happens, we no longer have to reduce debt as a priority. We just have to maintain that debt profile. That will release resources of 2.5% to 3% of GDP, which is close to $90 billion of additional resources, which no longer have to be part of your primary surplus target. So we will be able to fund our program quite comfortably come April next year, when the fiscal year starts.
You say yes or no.
So Andrew Holness, not knowing the updated data, is about to try and embarrass the leader by saying that he must have been drinking because those numbers are not correct. How embarrassing for him.
Dr. Holness,
there is a song which says, when the rum tells you you're a big dancer. I don't know what the leader of the opposition was drinking. Firstly, the debt to GDP for this fiscal year is not projected to be 60%. It is projected to be 65% thereabouts. If the leader of the opposition is depending on growth to provide the revenues for $75 billion of expenditure, the country would have to grow between 8 and 10%, which has not done that since the 60s. Thirdly, yes, there are $300 billion of programs. What are these programs? Pharmaceuticals.
Thank you, Dr. Holness. Thank you, Dr. Holness.
So they're gonna ask him another question. That is Mark Golding, and he's gonna respond to this. But I don't want to listen to what Andrew Holness has to say. Listen to this.
Over to Mr. Golding to respond.
Just before I respond, just to point out that Mr. Holness's data is not current. The Fiscal Commissioner issued a release, I think it was today actually, indicating that with the National System of Accounts being updated, GDP has been adjusted, and we're now at 62% of GDP. That's what the debt is at the end of March this year, and we will more than likely achieve 60% this fiscal year. No, please, you're not entitled to do that. The flip-flopping from the Prime Minister is manifest. They were supposed.
So after, I don't know how people voted for Andrew, you know, after he was duly corrected with the information by Mark Golding, and he tried to embarrass Mark Golding by saying that he was drinking and he must be smoking or something. You don't know what he's doing. The information stick him up. Pop, pop. 2 in him gut. I saw information beat him a while ago. He start ball out and I interrupt Mark Golding. At this point, he loses the debate, you know. He has no discipline. All I see him go on like saying proper and him Ray. A leopard never changes spots, ladies and gentlemen. Andrew Holness is not of good character. It's twice he interrupted the leader of the opposition in this debate. This was the end of the debate, you know. The update of the data, he did not know. And this is the person who think can grow the economy. And this is no vote for Jamaican people. Every sufferation we wanna get, especially the people who vote for Andrew. You don't know why you wanna deserve it. You don't know why you wanna deserve it, you know. Because you never pay attention to these things. Rasta and man when I want, you know. Like father, like son. See how I do him doing the 80s. And here comes Andrew Holness. And after 10 years, and this debate, where everybody's supposed to watch, every laborer is supposed to watch this debate, but you never watch and listen. You watch for go cheer. And you never look upon the reaction from Ralston Hyman, that is an expert in this field of economic analysis. This was embarrassing. The man interrupted the leader twice when they beat him with the information, and look how the leader respond.
I think it was today actually, indicating that with the National System of Accounts being updated, GDP has been adjusted, and we're now at 62% of GDP. That's what
So Andrew Holness never knows it was adjusted. Because he's supposed to pay attention to these things, you know. But he's lagging. His finance minister is lagging. His team is lagging. They just did not know. Big up Giant, big up Nats, soon, you know. But me just in the element of the information right now. Big up on yourself. When you go and like and share the video. You understand what I say, ladies and gentlemen? Watch them interrupt the leader.
The debt is at the end of March this year, and we will more than likely achieve 60% this fiscal year. No, please, you're not entitled to do that. The flip-flopping from the Prime Minister is manifest. They were supposed to have impeachment. There's no impeachment.
So 2 times he interrupted him. And you're gonna see, I think the host is gonna speak to him on it.
That there's a format.
NHT cannot be trusted.
Just reminding that there's a format to the debate and asking the debaters to respect the format to which they have agreed. It's no time to go to the...
So, Andrew Honest was quite aware that he should not have done what he did. Big up yourself, Derval. He was aware that he should not have done what he just did in interrupting the man when he's speaking. But he has no discipline. He has no good character, ladies and gentlemen. Right? And in terms of the economy, it's the same. He's incompetent. Only thing say Favor Williams, come on. Miss Probox, come on. Their brightest was Nigel Clark. And after telling us that you need to pay the best and the brightest, he left. He abandoned ship, gone about his own personal business. Serving himself and not serving the people of Jamaica. This is the modus operandi. This is the MO of the Jamaica Labour Party. Economically, they are there to serve themselves. Please get me to 50k likes on TikTok. Enough of you are here. Alita, big up. So poor Andrew never know, say it was adjusted to 62%. 62.5% at the time of this debate. Sad. Big up the whole team, Mark Golding and the People's National Party. This was a critical moment that you realize, that people should have realized who was the right choice when it comes on to who we want to carry forward. You understand? Economically and otherwise. Real leadership. Paying attention to the data and the numbers. Real plans to elevate the economy. But, hey man, everybody that show the PMP, when you take on the 5,000, when you take on the 10,000, and on 15,000, I want to go vote for Labour Right, and some want to take the money and don't vote for PMP. All of the judgment we are reaching up, you only have on self-blame. Alright? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe. Anybody who want anybody that wants the 2 articles, ladies and gentlemen, you know, this particular list right here, so you know, I have to put all of them together in one group. Yes, man. Miss Lagarde, Andrew. So let me see. Financial lesson for labor rights for JLP. JLP crashed the economy, ladies and gentlemen. Was on the verge of economic meltdown. That are facts where they can't go around. You understand? That is it. Now let me go to this. Very important. Support Jamaica. Because we now come off of that, you know. Yeah, man, support Jamaica website. I am calling on the resignation of Dana Morris Dixon, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, man, election have consequences, man. Not Scary Spence, Sharon Samuels. She said Andrew Wallace is acting like a Dan. That's why he tried to interrupt the leader. Exactly, that's why I'm saying a leopard cannot change his spots. This is his true character. Thank you so much for that, the determined one. Thank you for that star right there. Guys, remember that the super chat is available. If you want to bless up the platform, and you can send gifts on YouTube as well. On Bolo VNR 2.0. Jane, how you doing, my darling? Me have for all of my members. Bless up on yourself. Alright, she said this is the reason why Andrew One is trying to get back at Mark. You remember when Andrew never shake Mark Golden hand? You remember that? Are they look at ceremony there? The man is a trifling, bitter little, you know, me can't say that though. Me can't say that. Me can't say that. No, me left that one there alone. Me can't say that, Jamaica. I have to be pointed with my you know, I have to be more responsible in how I represent myself and my family. You understand? Yeah. Let me see. What is the timestamp on this? Oh, 20, okay, 20 minutes. 20 minutes and 52 seconds. All right, wonderful. Let's get into this next part right here. Again, share the video with 5 people, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's your brother Bolo here. Now remember to, you know, also, yeah, remember to all of my platforms subscribe. Bolo TBV, Bolo Vienna Clips, Bolo Vienna, and Bolo Vienna 2.0. All right, in this one, I haven't listened to this as yet, but Head Boy called into the show on Andre Stevens PD TV, and I heard a part of it, but I didn't get to listen all of it. And the part that I heard has sparked. Thank you, Barry. Thank you, Nats. And Nikki, I know you're doing, my darling. The part that I heard, Nikki Ann said she actually afraid to live here anymore. I mean, trust me, only God alone make me not afraid. You understand? Because once you have God by your side, you know, so you're not supposed to fear anything, correct? So, if this was a normal world and there was no God, I would be scared ishless to live in Jamaica, given the regime that is here. You understand? But God watch out for him own. But let's listen to this, ladies and gentlemen, from Head Boy.
That the group that own them have. But group cannot be separated from what is happening now, you know, in this vice note. Nationwide need to answer 2 things.
When you don't see the political, see Head Boy you call. Head Boy, you can advise them because them say me a chat too much and oh, me wrong and me dislike PMP.
Let me help them because them no know politics, including some in the leadership of the PNP. Me ain't afraid to say so because I'm not afraid of nobody. Yeah? Let me tell you what they did. They set the rat trap and they walked in the rat trap. Yeah? They should not have responded to them. Because when did a voice note in a private group among comrades that has nothing to do with a party, how can voice notes become issues of national importance now? Nothing in that voice note spoke to anything of national importance. Right? So that's one. We should never have responded. Secondly,
I disagree with the both of them. I said it last night and I'm gonna put this video out, and I have no problem with the response from the leader of the opposition. The response to me has ended all the noise. Period. That's my opinion. Big up Head Boy and big up Andre, 2 virgin when me respect them opinion. But on this one, I don't agree. You understand? But there's parts of what he just said. I understand what the JLP was doing, but to me, the answer from Mark Golding, it ended the conversation. What they were trying to do, it backfired. Let's continue.
Why aren't we telling the people that the Israelis are spying on Jamaicans? This firm Eltas, that got a contract in 2021, a 5-year contract to help with supposedly cybersecurity. Do you know who owns WhatsApp?
Reminded.
The Meta Group.
Meta.
Yeah? Do you know who are the largest investors in Meta? Israelis. Do you understand what is happening? And you asked an important question. Was Nationwide need to answer 2 things. When did they obtain the voice note? Meaning the day and time. Because I must be who they obtained this 3 months ago. From the discussions around NARA, they held it, right? And also, by which means did they obtain it? Can they?
And you see, no, what he's saying is going back to my point. Because Mark Golding said he investigated. They investigated the voice note. Richard, just send me a message from WhatsApp and me send her the stuff them. Me send her the thing, man. And this point only furthers my point about the response from Mark Golding. One integrity boss, one Marky G on the app. And everything me agree with Marky G neither. You feel what I deal with? Yeah. But at the same time, this one, may I stand on this one firm. Mark Golding's response was necessary because they were not waiting on the People's National Party. They were out there spreading a narrative, and it was spreading. Everybody had talked about it. The JLP, them had talked about it hard. You feel what I deal with? Not say she this or no, but Mark Golding's response was like when I dropped the mic. But with what Head Boy is talking about now, for the PNP to take a stance that Israel is spying on us, for a political party to do that, the geopolitical consequences, no, they cannot do that unless they have solid proof. It's okay for Head Boy to say that, but the entire organization of the PNP, the most they can do is ask questions to spark your analytic qualities and capabilities as a people. Put the facts in place and ask the question. But to come out and say that Israel is doing that, that wouldn't be prudent for the People's National Party or any other government to do. It would not be prudent for them to do that. Understand who Israel is, ladies and gentlemen. Understand and remember the information that Mystic Sensation put out about the technology that they have. You understand, that came from Israel. That the man that made the technology, hold on, I soon tell you, Daniel. The man that made the technology, what he said the technology was used for to interrupt elections. Mystic Sensation put out that in detail. Selvanev, big up. Diabolical vipers indeed. Now, for the person that are asking about the case with Paul Buchanan, listen to this.
Morning, my brother Bolo. But we got to tell you, the court date postponed until Thursday. Yeah, it's about court date. It's about court date postponed until Thursday. Yeah, until the 30. Yeah, the third time it's about case postponed.
All right, my people. So Thursday. All right. All right. Wonderful. Let's continue.
We're not asking you to whistleblow to say Frank Paul sent you, but can you clearly state that it was sent to you by somebody, or was it obtained using the technology that the group that own them have? But group cannot be separated from this, from what is happening now, in this vice note issue,
True.
Because if it is, only need to understand, Andre, Amber is carrying out Amber signed a 42 million deal with an Israeli company called Ultranix.
What?
Check it. They signed a 42 million deal to acquire a company in Israel called Ultranix.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, if this is true, yes, and you guys can go and do your own research, that is very concerning. And the reason is, when you look back at Jam COVID website and what happened there, when you look at the government defending Amber Group in that period, when you look at the relationship between Israel and this particular government, when you look at the relationship with Amber Group and this particular government, when you look at the Support Jamaica website and the fact that the head of the entity, the developer, has access to the people information, not just the government of Jamaica, and the money that it appears or it is alleged that cannot be accessed. I don't know if that is true. This is one of the arguments out there. All of it is very concerning, ladies and gentlemen, and it gives strength to the argument that Headboy is making about the connections. It couldn't be a coincidence because Israel has been operating all over the world. They have put their foot in many, many spaces. You understand what I'm saying? Remember, it's an Israel company got the contract for the elections last year. Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody. Let's continue.
Yes.
Since they have acquired that company, do you realize how the disinformation and the misinformation has increased? Israel has the best disinformation and misinformation campaigns ever. Ever. The Israelis are very good at it. Yeah?
True.
And don't be surprised. And I'm telling people, do not send messages in WhatsApp. You do not want the public to have any idea of it. WhatsApp is not safe.
I concur. I have assumed for years now that they have everything in my WhatsApp is being stored somewhere. All of the messages, everything. So if there's something that you don't want to be said, and sometimes people call me and talk some things, I look on the phone like, what is somebody I idiot? Me and you now have this conversation, and I shut this down. Me not say that to them, but me say that in my mind. So in the conversation that people call me and I talk about, and them I talk about, they're frustrated, and them I talk about the Prime Minister, this and threat, Mr. Bridging. Leave it unto the Lord. Because them dep on the internet and then dep on WhatsApp and I talk that on their phone. Hey, and I'm not for the man them take that information there and develop one case against you and send you to prison. You remember good, no stop it. No stop talk certain things by WhatsApp. Stop it. Assume say the man them have all the information. I'm not saying that they do it. I'm saying it is prudent. It is wise for you to believe and operate in the belief that the man them have every single thing we say on WhatsApp. All of the voice note them and everything stored. Okay, my side? Let's continue.
It has become unsafe because of what is happening in the United. You realize in the United States they use Signal. Why do they use Signal? Because Signal is unhackable.
True.
You cannot hack Signal, but you can hack WhatsApp, and they use Telegram. Yeah. We need to look at alternatives because this thing which is happening now, and to show you these people don't understand politics. You're right. The new nationwide is not going to have any major coverage. That's why they're pushing the internal contest right now, because they need to have that over the next 3-4 months.
They use that as the next 3-4 months to have the relevance and keep them newsroom going. Tell them that head boy, because when me talk, then send me. Tell them that head boy.
If someone is slow, radio stations don't make, the only time they make money is when PNP have its annual conference in September. That give them a little break. Right, and then maybe the outside back to school broadcast they will do with some, right? But outside of that is a dead season. It is like tourism for them.
Independence, and then I saw them making little money. Nothing else them now making at this summer.
So this is
for the persons asking me for my number. When you look on the top of the screen from Bolo VNR 2.0. Anybody that want the 2 articles about the finance, the 1980s with Siaga, and also the IMF article talking about the on the verge of economic meltdown for you guys to understand how the JLP in both these instances destroyed our economy. You understand? Both instances, they destroyed our economy. See the number up on the screen? That's the WhatsApp number. All right? Let's continue.
This is why, but you see what happened to? We Jamaicans need to ask ourselves the question, why are you allowing...
Let's get to 50,000 likes, guys.
A corruptor, an enabler of corruption called Nationwide to be leading the narrative in Jamaica. Nationwide has not, they must tell us.
Yeah, boy, what them need to focus on. Make me spin back the news and focus on the news.
Before Andre focused on that, I am not in disagreement with the attempts of Nationwide. That's not my argument. We know their attempts. My argument is that Mark Golding responding did not help their attempts. That is my argument. Let me be clear. All right, ladies and gentlemen, but let's hear what Andre is saying now.
Why Nationwide can't talk about Amber Group? Nationwide cannot talk about Amber Group because Amber Group controls significant shareholdership of Nationwide.
That's right.
You don't realize that Nationwide has said nothing about what is happening with the government website.
Nothing.
You don't find that strange.
Nothing at all. The biggest story. Absolutely correct. He's absolutely correct. Them can't say, oh, you go talk about your boss. Or you go talk about a story that your boss is looking bad. Right? Big up yourself, Pastor Peter Chambers. How are you going to talk on a story where your boss is looking bad, ladies and gentlemen? Nationwide is compromised. Fully. That's why when you're dealing with journalism in any way, whether it's on here, on the internet right here, or Silver them say never listen to that side. Yes. You know, say a Amber Group around the Revo thing, a Amber Group, you know. It is a conglomerate of different tentacles, you know, like a what you call it now? A squid. You get what I say? You don't know squid, right? They have another name for them apart from squid. But the jellyfish looking thing, we have a lot of different tentacles and can grow big and grow for years. Right? What's up, Sassidi?
Let me give you 1 minute. 1 minute as I go, Professor. 1 minute. Amber Pay. Do you know why the Auditor General report only confirmed that only 2% of the funds were used?
Because it's Amber Pay out the rest side.
No, not just the payout. Amber has a payment company called Amber Pay, which is in 34 countries operating, by the way, if you don't realize. And they also serve as the back end for our new CBDC, our central bank digital currency that is coming. In addition.
And this is something that I've never said before, but given what Ed Boy is saying, I thought about it. I am of the view that the Amber Group is integral in bringing the B system to Jamaica. Vernon, good day. You eat one of squid. There's another name for them, man. The Amber Group, I believe, is a part of the global plot. The global plot of one world order that is connected to Jamaica. That's my belief. All of the things that they have their hands in screens one world order. Everything centralized. The AI that they're pushing, all of that. That's my belief. Let's continue.
In 34 countries operating, by the way, if you don't realize. And they also serve as the back end for our new CBDC, our central bank digital currency that is coming. In addition to that, Paymaster will have a role in it.
What you
So why you think Amber?
What you
Paymaster will be a part of the e-payment system going forward for the digital economy.
Hey, what you said, boy?
That is Audrey Marks. When you remember when Mystic Sensation was connecting all of the tentacles of the Andrew Holness circle, and Audrey Marks, they have always talked about Audrey Marks. They have always mentioned her. Big up the entire Titans. This is sinister and diabolical, ladies and gentlemen. But I am not worried. I'm not worried. Because them a plan and God a wipe. I'm not worried enough. This is just for you to be aware, not for you to be scared. You feel me? I deal with no man, Mystic Sensation break it down to the T man, the connection with Audrey Marks. I want to notice what them call she in terms of Andrew Holness empire. You remember when Marlon Malawu Fort was joking about, thank you so much, HB Love. Octopus is the word I'm looking for. The octopus can grow large and big for years without dying. And grow many tentacles. Right? So, you remember when Marlon Malawu Fort in the campaign was joking that, and Audrey Marks was joking how they were one of the mistresses of Andrew Holness. Sometimes people tell upon themselves using jokes here. And I'm not saying that she's a mistress. Alright? I'm just establishing how close she is to Andrew Holness. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. And anybody close to Andrew Holness, as far as I'm concerned, they cannot be trusted. Cannot be trusted. Let's continue.
Part of the e-payment system going forward for the digital economy.
Hey, what you said, boy? Ball out! Oh, what you said? Ball out! Whoa, yo. Ed boy?
Yes, Professor. I mean, we have to.
Yeah.
So why did you think Audrey leave Washington? What would possess a woman who is comfortably in Washington, by the way, could make, she claimed to us she could have made $2 million.
$2 million US in Washington, and yes. You come back to Jamaica. You come back to Jamaica.
Because the food bigger, you need to ask yourself.
And that is supreme common sense. Thank you so much, Jain, for the cash up. Thank you, my darling. That is supreme common sense, ladies and gentlemen. She mentioned that she could have gotten a deal where she would make $2 million US, but she came back to Jamaica. The question is, did you come back to Jamaica to serve Jamaica, or did you come back to Jamaica to serve yourself with a better opportunity?
Emotional damage.
Something not right, my wisdom warriors. Something is not right. Tell about them.
You know, we can get very far when we ask the right questions. You know. This is all about challenging your mind to think. It's not illegal yet. Think.
In transaction fees, Amber charged the government of Jamaica $1.5 million to process the 1.4 billion. Sorry, 1.5% of the charge to process the 1.4 billion. So look at that. I am not very good at math, but that tells me that Amber went with about 15 million, just in charges, just to say I received the money for you. Yeah?
Whoa.
About 14 to $15 million out of the 1.4 billion. Mighty God.
Of the 1.4.
No, so,
and remember,
so there, I remember them say it was a donation. The website was a donation. So that means also them collect back for them 15 million. That the 15 million, but I know it. Why? You see how them dangerous.
Why would you ask Amber to create a...
You remember when I told you guys that nothing is for free? If you are getting $15 million, 1% of the money, you didn't build the website for free. That's your payment. That $15 million is your payment. Want to see all them lie by omission, ladies and gentlemen? If you don't do your digging, you would assume that, the Amber Group is just an entity that is helping Jamaica, a partner of Andrew Onis and the Jamaica Labour Party that is doing a wonderful job for us, but they're not getting paid. The devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. $15 million for our website? Oh, that's good money. I don't know what the rate is, As a matter of fact, let me do some calculations because I love calculations now. $1.44 billion, ladies and gentlemen. Not million, billion. Divided by 100. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, $14.4 million, 1%. $14.4 million. Let's continue.
And this is what I want you to take this week, Andrea, and look at it, because you have the people who can give you the information. Why would the government give an exclusivity to Amber in cybersecurity and e-payment solutions? Do you know right now no vendor can go to the government to pitch a program until they end the exclusivity with Amber Group?
What you said? What can go
So, may I ask the Jamaica Labour Party, because I love to talk about the people that spread misinformation and disinformation. Is there any truth to what Head Boy is saying? As a matter of fact, let me do a quick Google. Freedom, big up. Good to see you, my darling. Big up yourself. Is there a exclusive contract with Amber Group and the Jamaican government? Let me see. Unveil Amber contract, Golding demands. Oh, there's an actual lead story on this. Government signed historic MOU with Amber Group. Let's read. Outrage grows as government farms out support Jamaica. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on there. I want to see this MOU here. Open in a new link. Thank you so much. Let me do the research. Open in a new link. Let us probe, ladies and gentlemen. Let us probe. It is worth it. Sometimes you have to watch the longer video them because it is important. Alright, so this is the MOU. Government signs historic MOU with Amber Group to establish Jamaica First Coding Institute. I don't know. Understanding government, blah, blah, blah. Prime Minister Holness hailed the initiative as revolutionary. I said this is proof of the concept that we can get things done quickly, efficiently. I want to know what is the memorandum of understanding. That's what I want to know. Explain public-private partnership accelerates government vision to deliver robust, intense, and in-demand training to our young people. Additionally, describe the institute, example, initiative, thinking, and blah, 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 blah. We do business as fast. I don't see much detail. This is the Heart Institute. Okay. Let me see. Unveil Amber contract, government Golding demands. Opposition Mark Golding is demanding that the Prime Minister Andrew Holness lay bare the contract it used to engage Amber Group to build the Jam COVID. Oh, so this is Jam COVID. So I'm not seeing what I should see. Is there exclusive contractual agreement with the Amber Group? Just I'll have to do some more digging. All right. Let's continue with what Head Boy is saying because I'm not really getting nowhere with that.
This is coming from a tech guru in Jamaica who sent me the message, and I'm going to send you the message too so you could read for your listeners. He said that Amber has an exclusivity agreement with the government. So everything that they have been doing is not through tendering. It is through exclusivity. Yeah? Then, if they want to give up the contract, then the government has to now tender it back to somebody, a potential vendors. But they're not doing that.
So what them doing?
What they're doing is that they keep, for example, the cybersecurity part, they keep it. So when an ordinary firm in Jamaica comes and say, okay, I want to do something over Ministry of Finance, they tell you, no, it's Amber have the contract for everybody. And we have ego. For every single department of government, Amber has the contract. And tell them to come tell me otherwise. This all criminal, thieving, cooling, or good for nothing for where it come from. Let me tell you something, sir. We are going to take to the streets to deal with you. Yeah, not in a violent way, but you need to leave Jamaica. Yeah, you are a criminal.
Basically, everything where they go on in the government, every collection, basically, I go through Amber Group now.
It has to because they have. Remember, you have e-gov. You used to have e-government limited, right?
So
which control the computer.
So e-gov, not about again.
e-gov, them take everything from e-gov. e-gov is not doing any work. e-gov people are being paid for not doing anything.
Wow.
So Amber do all the e-gov work?
Every single thing. If you have to maintain a computer, if you have to upgrade a computer, it's going to Amber.
Backside. Side boy.
That's what we must.
Me and you have to go do one serious investigative work on this week.
It's not very hard because I've gathered quite a lot, and I can tell you this. Ask the Speaker of the House for me.
Yes.
You come here size 13, and Andrew Wheatley. Wheatley come. Because I don't know I'm not afraid I know. How often have you traveled to India over the past 2 years?
Repeat that.
Ask the Speaker of the House and the Minister who should resign, Wheatley. How often have they been traveling to India?
So not just one year when we see she go to India, so yeah, so she go more than one time.
And you are referring to the ones that she go to the Commonwealth meetings as speaker. That's not the only time she has been to India, sir. When she's missing, she's not going to Europe. She's going to India. And ask her, I say, why is she going to India? Is Amber also collecting money for the apartments? Was Amber the person who invested in the $800 million apartment?
What you saying? What you just say?
Ball out!
I'm asking the speaker.
We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help. Shift the parliament. Shift the election. Shift everything. Remove them out there. Take out the cockroach. Take out the thief. Take out the criminal them. Take out the thief them. Take out the murderer them. Take out the gang leader them. Out of parliament. Take them out from Portland. Take them out. I hear Portland. Me I go to Portland. Why me I travel to Portland? Take out somebody.
I say, why is she
man
going
or
to
woman.
India? Is Amber also collecting money for the apartments? Was Amber the person who invested in the $800 million apartment?
What you saying? What you just say?
I am asking the speaker to tell me why is she going to India so often, and when she goes to India, what is her purpose? And also, is it in relation to the fact that Amber Group, and this is me saying this now, may potentially have ownership in the apartments she built at Lee's flat?
Amber have potential ownership of the apartments?
Andre, if I don't want no money for me to come into Jamaica, I just send it through Amber, it goes to India, and then send it to me in digital currency. I can't leave you.
Whoa, yo. We need help, Jesus.
Jamaica, there are some serious questions. I would love to hear a response from the Speaker of the House. Those are some very serious questions. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen. Big up Head Boy and big up Panacha TV. Mighty God. No, sir. Wow. 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 That's a wow, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Yeah, that one there. Godson. Judgment, Godson. Judgment. Jaja Lord, big up yourself. Yo. Yo. Hey, so we're not here from size 13. Me still invite her to come answer them question there. She can't say she never get the invite. Size 13, is it true that you make frequent trips to India? Is that true? I'm just asking, man. Inquiring minds would like to know, man. Inquiring minds would like to know, size 13, if you indeed make these trips to India. My goodness. Now, let me just probe the news a little bit. Let me see what's going on in the news. Because I have one bombshell for dropping up. And the bombshell is for you to go and do your own research. It is not that I am co-signing anything. It is for you to go and do your own research. I want to share the live with 10 people, ladies and gentlemen. Tell them say, I miss enough of some serious conversation from Bolo VNR, and they need to come check out what is going to come. They cannot afford to miss it. Send them the link and make them know say they cannot afford to miss it. Now, so the JLP really came out and with them shameless self talking about JLP criticized Golding over response to leaked PNP recording. We don't really expect no better from them, but we not pay them no mind. That is anything they must say is a weak response. We move on. Now give them no light today. I just go through and a look. We see what go on. Oliver Meir appointed Jamaica next Consul General in New York. Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Minister Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith has anointed Jamaica current Consul General in Miami, Roderick Oliver Meir, as the country's next Consul General in New York, who was served in Miami for more than 7 years. Is expected to assume office in coming weeks. Consul General, what does that mean? What does that mean? See it, that brother. Why it look like a labor right boy? But what is a consul general? What is the role of a consul general? Let me look that up. Google. This is how civics come in. What is the role and responsibility of a consul general? Let us look at that. Roland, let me see. The Embassy of Jamaica in Tokyo is the arm of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade, which is responsible for promoting and protecting the interests of Jamaica in Japan, India, Indonesia, wow, this is a lot. promoting ties of friendship with the country, enhancing consultation and cooperation, monitoring and reporting on political and economic cultural trends to enable Jamaica to effectively respond to change in the international environment, negotiating and monitoring bilateral agreements in various fields, providing active support in initiatives. This is a lot. Yeah, man, me send it, Richard. I got it, Richard. The message just come in. I got it. Anybody that want the two all right, so no me know. Let me add this to my study. Now I add this to my study. Jam. Let me add this to this. The article I need to add. This need to add too. Probably need that one next day. This need to add. And this article, let me just add it as well. It's gonna come in handy another day. That's how that works. A one number me give out to Richard. When I give out my number them. One number me give out. One number give out on the internet to everybody. Alright. Yes. Anyway. Probing through the news, Jamaica, Canada moves strength, blah blah blah. French wildfire. Who knew that there were some wildfires in Italy and France? Who did know that? Some serious wildfire where displaced hundreds and thousands of people. And the heat, El Nino, seems to be the cause of it. El Nino. So you see, there was a fire in St. Mary, you know, upper. Okay, I got you. I'll send it to the two of them. There was a fire in St. Mary. Is it 2 nights ago? I put out the video. Let me check. There was a fire in St. Mary, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is. But them said this is
And that's what the firefighters would have told us.
Let me get the exact.
Because we would have asked that it would be requested. Because this is not the only fire that is currently.
So July 25, this fire in St. Mary 2 nights ago. Alright? So I had asked in the comments, I had asked, is it a coincidence that it happened there? And the brother said, no, there's some type of stones that are there. Because of the heat, them easy to catch fire. So it's not unusual that, and it's in the forest. So it's not unusual that a fire would occur there. So it was random. It wasn't like somebody light a fire. You understand? The heat is just too much. Who is this? One of the laborers them coming in the comment section. Let us escort them out, ladies and gentlemen. Well, how will my moderator them a deal with? The moderator when you say laborer them a feel the pressure.
Take his microphone. Just a minute. Take his microphone. Usher him out. We are doing like the biggest labor right. Yeah man, we are doing like Vegas man. Anytime we come in a comment section and disrespect, straight usher we are usher on out. And any of my moderator them, if you know of it, remove people from the page, let me explain to you if you don't know. Let me explain to you if you don't know. You see a while ago, see the person here, about Jamaica 234, You see right beside them name, you have 3 dots. Boom. You see when you press it, you see, you scroll up and it says hide user. You can't time them out, you know. Can't time them out. But when they get disrespectful, just hide the user. They won't be able to comment anymore on my page. Alright? So let me get to the final list because me I probe through the news and I not see nothing really what I want to touch upon. Right? Yeah. I not really see nothing I want to touch upon. Let's get to this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to this. Let's pay attention to what is said here. Alright, listen to this. Very short video. And let me put out my disclaimer. The views and opinions shared by Dr. Stella Emmanuel is not necessarily that of my own. This is for educational purposes. This is for persons to think and do their own research and come to their own conclusions. Let's get into it.
Yeah, humans are hackable animals. They can just hack you and change your DNA. People that took the vaccine, they change your DNA. And people need to pray. There's hope because you can pray for that. You can pray and get regeneration. If you don't, when it's time for the mark of the beast, you will be programmed.
Hold on. No, that is dangerous to say.
I'm not lying. Listen to Yuval Noah. Yuval Noah actually says that, and you can go Google it, that COVID was a time when humanity accepted surveillance to go under the skin. You can go Google mRNA vaccine or COVID vaccine and luciferase. Go Google, even the CEO of Moderna, Isaac, said that the COVID jab was hacking the software of life and introducing a code. Klaus Schwab, the head of the World Economic Forum, said, in the 4th Industrial Revolution, the Bible calls it the 4th Kingdom. These people call it the 4th Industrial Revolution. They say in the 4th Industrial Revolution, it's not what you do that will change. It is who you are if you take genetic editing. This was actually an interview he did with Charlie Rose. Go pull it up. This is not, it's just that a lot of people don't know all this information is right there. They're not hiding it anymore. They have an agenda by 2030 for everybody to be human 2.0. Elon Musk talks about human beings need to, we need to become merge with machines. That we need to merge with machines in a good way. Because if we don't merge with machines, machines will take over. So he believes that. That is, the Bible says it in Daniel chapter 22. Daniel chapter 2, verse like 4.
Hey, I say the devil strong in a man. Where there? Where's the video? The devil strong in? So if it just disappear. It just disappear. Hold on.
Yeah, humans are hackable animals. They can just hack you and they can just sin. The jab was hacking the software of life and introducing a code. Klaus Schwab, the head of the World Economic Forum, said, in the 4th Industrial Revolution, the Bible calls it the 4th Kingdom. These people call it the 4th Industrial Revolution. They say in the 4th Industrial Revolution, it's not what you do that will change. It is who you are if you take genetic editing. This was actually an interview he did with Charlie Rose. Go pull it up. This is not, it's just that a lot of people don't know all this information is right there. They're not hiding it anymore. They have an agenda by 2030 for everybody to be human 2.0. Elon Musk talks about human beings need to, we need to become merge with machines. That we need to merge with machines in a good way. Because if we don't merge with machines, machines will take over. So he believes that. That is, the Bible says it in Daniel chapter 22. Daniel chapter 2, verse like 43 to about 46. That's going to come a time when iron will mix with clay. They will mingle with the seed of man. Read it. Wait. Me too. Daniel chapter 2, verse like 43.
So let's go to the Bible. Here's a few references that you pointed out. Here's a few references that you pointed out, ladies and gentlemen. Daniel, Google. Few things that you said we should Google that we're going to Google. Daniel chapter 2. Let's read Daniel chapter 2. All right. Is it Daniel chapter 2? You said, catch you talk. Kind of funny, you know. 4. Daniel chapter 4, 3. Oh, Daniel chapter 4. Okay, not 3. Daniel chapter 4. All right. Mighty wonders, external dominion. 1 second, guys.
Machines will take over. So he believes that. That is, the Bible says it in Daniel chapter 22. Daniel chapter 2, first like from 43 to about 46. That's going to come.
Daniel chapter 22. Let me see for 22. Daniel chapter 22. Is it 22? Daniel 22 or 2? Let's see, 2. 22. Nebuchadnezzar had a dream. His mind was troubled and he could not sleep. So the king summoned the magicians, enchanters, sorcerers, and astrologers to tell them what he had dreamed. When they came in and stood before the king, he said to them, I had a dream that troubles me and I want to know what it means. The astrologers answered the king, may the king live forever. Tell your serpent the dream and we will interpret it. Your servants the dream and we will interpret it. The king replied to the astrologers that this is what I have firmly decided. If you do not tell me what my dream was and interpret it, I will have to cut into pieces. I will have you cut into pieces and your houses turned into pile of rubbles. But if you tell me the dream and explain it, you will receive me gifts, rewards, and great honor. So tell me the dream. Once more they replied, blah, blah. Okay. I am certain, realize that I have firmly decided you conspire misleading and wicked things, hoping. The astrologers answered, there is no one on earth who can do what the king asks. No king, however, great and mighty. This made the king so angry and furious. Okay. Do we get to the point where he tells the dream? Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. Then Daniel replied, no wise man enchanter, your majesty, look, and therefore you still large, stature, enormous. Okay. The days to come.
29. As your majesty was lying there, your mind turned to things to come, and the revealer of mysteries showed you what is going to happen. 30. As for me, this mystery has been revealed to me, not because I have greater wisdom than anyone else alive, but so that your majesty may know the interpretation and that you may understand what went through your mind. 31. Your majesty looked, and there before you stood a large statue, an enormous, dazzling statue, awesome in appearance. 32. The head of the statue was made of pure gold, its chest and arms of silver, its belly and thighs of bronze. 33. Its legs of iron, its feet partly of iron and partly of baked clay. 34. While you were watching, a rock was cut out, but not by human hands. It struck the statue on its feet of iron and clay and smashed them. 35. Then the iron, the clay, the bronze, the silver, and the gold were all broken to pieces and became like chaff on a threshing floor in the summer. The wind swept them away without leaving a trace. But the rock that struck the statue became a huge mountain and filled the whole earth.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry, you guys. My mic was on. I hope that there wasn't too bad of a revert of the actual scripture there, but it is quite clear. It talks about metal, bronze, silver, gold, and clay, a statue of man being mixed. I see your majesty look before a large statue, enormously dazzling statue, awesome in appearance. The head of the statue was made of pure gold. The chest, the arms. This is describing a man, right? The legs made of iron, the feet partially iron, and baked clay and partially baked clay. So this is what the lady is talking about. This is Daniel second, Nebuchadnezzar's dream. Let's continue.
A time when iron will mix with clay, people call it the fourth industrial revolution. They say in the fourth industrial revolution, it's not what you do that will change, it is who you are if you take genetic editing. This was actually an interview he did with Charlie Rose. Go pull it up. This is not, it's just that a lot of people don't know all this information is right there. They're not hiding it anymore. They have an agenda by 2030 for everybody to be human 2.0. Was hacking the software of life and introducing a code. Klaus Schwab, the head of the World Economic Forum, said, in the fourth industrial revolution, the Bible calls it the fourth kingdom. These people call it the fourth industrial revolution. It's surveillance to go under the skin. You can go Google mRNA vaccine or COVID vaccine and luciferase.
All right, so let's Google that. COVID vaccine and luciferase. Let's Google that. Let's Google that. COVID vaccine or luciferase. Let's look at that. What does it say? Luciferase based biosensor is an era of the... Oh, wait a minute. What? Let's read that.
Luciferase-based biosensors have a wide range of applications and assay formats, including their relatively recent use in the study of viruses. Split luciferase, bioluminescence resonance energy transfer, circularly permuted luciferase, cyclic luciferase, and dual luciferase systems have all been used to interrogate the structure and function of prominent viruses infecting humans, animals, and plants. The utility of these assays is demonstrated by numerous studies which have not only successfully characterized interactions between viral and host cell proteins, but that have also used these systems to identify viral inhibitors. In the present COVID-19 pandemic, luciferase-based biosensors are already playing a critical role in the study of the culprit virus SARS-CoV-2, as well as in the development of serological assays and drug development via high-throughput screening. In this review paper, we provide a summary of existing luciferase-based biosensors and their applications in virology. Introduction. Biosensors are tools employed in molecular biology that allow for the measurement of biological phenomena. Historically, biosensors have been used to interrogate protein interactions, but a wide breadth of applications has evolved beyond this over recent decades, including disease diagnosis and monitoring, as well as in vivo imaging. Point 1. 2, they have also proved useful in the generation of serological assays and the identification of inhibitory drugs via high-throughput screening. In the present COVID-19 pandemic, biosensors may prove to be invaluable by providing timely information about interactions between the SARS-CoV-2 virus or its variants and host cells. Traditionally, biosensors are composed of a bioreceptor that allows for the binding of 2 molecules of interest and the generation of a signal, as well as a transducer for signal detection. Point 3, a common optical signal used in biosensors is bioluminescence. The light produced and emitted by a living organism as a result of chemical reactions occurring within itself. 0.4 bioluminescent biosensors have historically been used in macroscopic imaging due to their low brightness. However, modifications to bioreceptors and signal detectors are allowing for newer applications in microscopic imaging, e.g.
Oh my God, is the sound body out the echo? Oh my God, me press the button and it's still. So that means that the echo really, really bad. I have to do that over. I have to do that over. So let me do this over, right? Because Gillian, big up yourself. Big up yourself, Gillian. Long time I don't see you. So let's play back what the lady said, and then we're gonna go over the references that you said we must look at. Let's play what you said, and then we're gonna go over the references that you said we must look at.
Yeah, humans are hackable animals. They can just hack you and change your DNA. People that took the vaccine, they change your DNA. And people need to pray. There's hope because you can pray for that. You can pray and get regeneration. If you don't, when it's time for the mark of the beast, you will be programmed.
Hold on. No, that is dangerous to say.
I'm not lying. Listen to Yuval Noah. Yuval Noah actually says that, and you can go Google it, that COVID was a time when humanity accepted surveillance to go under the skin. You can go Google mRNA vaccine or COVID vaccine and luciferase. Go Google, even the CEO of Moderna, Tyzak, said that the COVID jab was hacking the software of life and introducing a code. Klaus Schwab, the head of the World Economic Forum, said, in the fourth industrial revolution, the Bible calls it the fourth kingdom. These people call it the fourth industrial revolution. They say in the fourth industrial revolution, it's not what you do that will change. It is who you are if you take genetic editing. This was actually an interview he did with Charlie Rose. Go pull it up. This is not, it's just that a lot of people don't know all this information. It's right there. They're not hiding it anymore. They have an agenda by 2030 for everybody to be human 2.0. Elon Musk talks about human beings we need to become merge with machines. That we need to merge with machines in a good way. Because if we don't merge with machines, machines will take over. So he believes that. That is, the Bible says it in Daniel chapter 22. Daniel chapter 2, verse like 43 to about 46. That is going to come a time when iron will mix with clay. They will mingle with the seed of man. Read it. Wait. Yeah, humans are hackable animals. They can just hack you and change your DNA. People that took the vaccine, they...
All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what just happened. I searched for the Bible verse, I'll find it. I found the Bible verse a while ago with Daniel. Where gone? The Bible verse, the two Bible verses that we should talk about a while ago. We just find it a while ago. A lot of people don't want to, dive into these types of conversation. But remember when the pastors came out and prophesied and told you guys that you should not take the joke? Right now, TikTok restrict my video 3 times because we start talking about this. And we know who own these entities, so it's not surprising to me because some of these conversations, they don't want to manifest. One certain word is put out there, they don't want it manifest. Not even to have the conversation, You understand what I deal with? Not even to have the conversation. They don't want that to happen. I don't know if you guys find that strange or not, but I find that very, very strange. What I find even more strange is the actual thing that I just look for. Oh, here it is. All right. Here it is. All right, so she mentioned three things. One, the clay, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Daniel 2, verse 31, where it talked about the clay and man. Listen to this. Listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. Read aloud. Oh, wow, it read aloud already.
36. Your Majesty looked, and there before you stood a large statue, an enormous, dazzling statue, awesome in appearance. 32, the head of the statue was made of pure gold, its chest and arms of silver, its belly and thighs of bronze. 33, its legs of iron, its feet partly of iron and partly of baked clay. 34, while you were watching, a rock was cut out, but not by human hands. It struck the statue on its feet of iron and clay and smashed them. 35, then the iron, the clay, the bronze, the silver, and the gold were all broken to pieces and became like chaff on a threshing floor in the summer. The wind swept them away without leaving a trace. But the rock that struck the statue became a huge mountain and filled the whole earth. 36, this was the dream, and now we will interpret it to the king. 37, Your Majesty, you are the King of Kings. The God of heaven has given you dominion and power and might and glory. 38, in your hands, he has placed all mankind and the beasts of the field and the birds in the sky. Wherever they live, he has made you ruler over them all. You are that head of gold. 39, after you, another kingdom will arise, inferior to yours. Next, a third kingdom, one of bronze, will rule over the whole earth. 40, finally, there will be a fourth kingdom, strong as iron, for iron breaks and smashes everything, and as iron breaks things to pieces, so it will crush and break all the others. 41, just as you saw that the feet and toes were partly of baked clay and partly of iron, so this will be a divided kingdom, yet it will have some of the strength of iron in it, even as you saw iron mixed with clay. 42, as the toes were partly iron and partly clay, so this kingdom will be partly strong and partly brittle. 43, and just as you saw the iron mixed with baked clay, so the people will be a mixture and will not remain united, any more than iron mixes with clay. 44, in the time of those kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom that will never be destroyed, nor will it be left to another people. It will crush all those kingdoms and bring them to an end, but it will itself endure forever. 45, this is the meaning of the vision of the rock cut out of a mountain, but not by human hands, a rock that broke the iron, the bronze, the clay, the silver, and the gold to pieces. The great God has shown the king what will take place in the future. The dream is true and its interpretation is trustworthy. 46, then King Nebuchadnezzar fell prostrate before Daniel and paid him honor and ordered that an offering and incense be presented to him. 47, the king said to Daniel, surely your God is the God of gods and the Lord of kings and a revealer of mysteries, for you were able to reveal this mystery. 48, then the king placed Daniel in a high position and lavished many gifts on him. He made him ruler over the entire province of Babylon and placed him in charge of all its wise men. 49, moreover, at Daniel's request the king appointed Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego administrators over the province of Babylon, while Daniel himself remained at the royal court.
So that vision was of the future. And you remember when the lady said the fourth industrial and fourth kingdom, scripture again. And then we go to Daniel 7:23 to 28. Let's read this, ladies and gentlemen. Very interesting.
23, thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down, and break it in pieces. 24, and the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. 25, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times, and the dividing of time. 26, But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume and to destroy it unto the end. 27 And the kingdom and dominion, and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven, shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominion shall serve and obey him. 28 Hitherto is the end of the matter. As for me, Daniel, my cogitations much troubled me, and my countenance changed in me, but I kept the matter in my heart.
Jamaica, this is powerful. This is powerful. This is powerful. And then we go to the Luciferus. And I wonder why the name Luciferus. I really wonder why. She said we must Google. This is the National Library of Medicine for reference. The Luciferus-based biosensors. Let's read, ladies and gentlemen. Mighty God. Very interesting.
E.g., the LV200 system. Biosensors are tools. Luciferase-based biosensors have a wide range of applications and assay formats, including their relatively recent use in the study of viruses. Split luciferase, bioluminescence resonance energy transfer, circularly permuted luciferase, cyclic luciferase, and dual luciferase systems have all been used to interrogate the structure and function of prominent viruses infecting humans, animals, and plants. The utility of these assays is demonstrated by numerous studies which have not only successfully characterized interactions between viral and host cell proteins, but that have also used these systems to identify viral inhibitors. In the present COVID-19 pandemic, luciferase-based biosensors are already playing a critical role in the study of the culprit virus SARS-CoV-2, as well as in the development of serological assays and drug development via high-throughput screening. In this review paper, we provide a summary of existing luciferase-based biosensors and their applications in virology. Introduction. Biosensors are tools employed in molecular biology that allow for the measurement of biological phenomena.
That part. Biosensors are tools employed in molecular biology that allow for the measure of biological phenomena. Let's continue.
Historically, biosensors have been used to interrogate protein interactions, but a wide breadth of applications has evolved beyond this over recent decades, including disease diagnosis and monitoring, as well as in vivo imaging. Point 1. 2. They have also proved useful in the generation of serological assays and the identification of inhibitory drugs via high-throughput screening. In the present COVID-19 pandemic, biosensors may prove to be invaluable by providing timely information about interactions between the SARS-CoV-2 virus or its variants and host cells. Traditionally, biosensors are composed of a bioreceptor that allows for the binding of two molecules of interest and the generation of a signal, as well as a transducer for signal detection. Point 3.
That part again. The biosensors are composed of bioreceptors that allows for the binding of two molecules of interest and the generation of a signal as well as a transducer for signal detection. So it binds two molecules and generate a signal. If something like that is in your body, Earth Angel, big up. If something like that is in your body, and we're talking about molecules, what are molecules? Boy, this is a science class right now, look at it. Me just look for the information, ladies and gentlemen. Molecules. Molecules. A group of atoms bonded together representing the smallest fundamental unit of chemical compound that can take part in chemical reaction. And of course, you know that a lot of chemical reaction happens in your body. So this particular, what did I do? Oh no, here it is. So this particular biosensor is able to bind two molecules and then generate a signal as well as a transducer for signal detection. So if the molecule can now detect a signal, right, and it can generate a signal, it would mean that the molecule can get a signal and send back a signal. Very interesting. Very interesting. Let's continue, ladies and gentlemen.
Common optical signal used in biosensors is bioluminescence. The light produced and emitted by a living organism as a result of chemical reactions occurring within itself. 0.4 bioluminescent biosensors have historically been used in macroscopic imaging due to their low brightness. However, modifications to bioreceptors and signal detectors are allowing for newer applications in microscopic imaging, e.g., the LV200 system. 0.1 These systems offer increased sensitivity, facilitating the study of photosensitive cells, quantitative analyses, and single-cell resolution. Bioluminescent biosensors have further been adapted for high-throughput screening for chemical biology and drug discovery applications due to their ability to maintain sensitivity, signal strength, and biological fidelity in automated systems. 0.4 Bioluminescent biosensors have several advantages compared to fluorescent biosensors, which make the former increasingly valuable for the development of new detection tools with higher sensitivity and specificity. These include having a higher dynamic range, which allows for quantification with minimal background, as well as their improved performance in vivo models. Herein, we provide an overview of the various applications of biosensors to the field of virology. We specifically review the use of split luciferase, bioluminescence resonance energy transfer, circularly permuted luciferase, cyclic luciferase, and dual luciferase systems in the study of viruses and development of novel therapeutics.
Half-lives compared to those of non-enzymatic fluorescent protein reporters and half-lives compared to those of non-enzymatic fluorescent protein reporters and can consequently be used to measure the dynamic changes in reporter transcription levels in cell-based assays. 0.4 Figure 1. 1. Open in a new tab. Bioluminescence is light produced as a result of luciferase enzymes reacting with their substrates. A. F-loop catalyzes the oxidation of deluciferin in the presence of ATP and Mg2+ to produce light.
From speeches and so on. In the fourth industrial revolution, the Bible calls it the fourth kingdom. These people call it the fourth industrial revolution. They say the fourth industrial revolution. It's not what you do that will change. It's who you are. If you take genetic editing. This was actually an interview he did with Charlie Rose. It's just that a lot of people don't know all this information. It's right there. They're not hiding it anymore. They have an agenda by 2030 for everybody to be human 2.0. Elon Musk talks about human beings need to, we need to become, and people need to pray. Humans are hackable animals. Can just hack you and change your DNA. People that took the vaccine, they change your DNA, and people need to pray. There's hope because you can pray for that. You can pray and get regeneration. If you don't, when it's time for the mark of the beast, you will be programmed.
Hold on. No, that is dangerous to say.
I'm not lying. Listen to Yuval Noah. Yuval Noah actually says that, and you can go Google it, that COVID was a time when humanity accepted surveillance to go under the skin. You can go Google
what's up,
mRNA vaccine or COVID vaccine and luciferase. Go Google. Even the CEO of Moderna, Tyzak, said that the COVID jab was hacking the software of life and introducing a code.
I need to hear that. I need to hear him say that. Did he really say that? Hold up.
vaccine or COVID vaccine and luciferase. Go Google. Even the CEO of Moderna ties.
CEO of Moderna. CEO of Moderna saying the joke will hack. I mean, what she said that, sir.
Zach said that the COVID jab was hacking the software of life and
hacking the software of life. Hacking the software of life. The software of life and introducing a code. Let's see if we can find that statement that he made, if he made it. Hold on there. Moderna co-founder and CEO. Stefani Banco Moderna. Alright, so may have to go search for that one next time, but let's listen to the rest of this.
Introducing a code. Klaus Schwab, the head of the World Economic Forum, said, in the fourth industrial revolution, the Bible calls it the fourth kingdom. These people call it the fourth industrial revolution. They say in the fourth industrial revolution, it's not what you do that will change. It is who you are if you take genetic editing. This was actually an interview he did with Charlie Rose. Go pull it up. This is not, it's just that a lot of people don't know all this information is right there. They're not hiding it anymore. They have an agenda by 2030 for everybody to be human 2.0. Elon Musk talk, human beings need to, we need to become merge with machines. That if we merge with machines in a good way, because if we don't merge with machines, machines will take over. So he believes that is, the Bible says it in Daniel chapter 22. Daniel chapter 2, verse like 43 to about 46, that is going to come a time when iron will mix with clay. They will mingle with the seed of man. Read it. Wait. Yeah, humans are.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I went to the Bible verses. Elon Musk definitely is on a path to merge human beings with machines. You see that chip that they're putting into people's brains. You guys remember that? Yeah, so the internet and the light went out. I don't know if it's a coincidence because I'm talking about this topic, but that wouldn't surprise me. All I would ask you guys to do is to hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Share this video. Very interesting. Like I said, the views and opinions of the lady is of her own, but I wanted to go and do some fact checking and look at the Bible verses and other things. I probably have to do a part 2 in my own time to look for the statements that she said that the Moderna CEO made, which sound very, very interesting. All right, thank you so much. Like, share, and subscribe. All right, my people. Me hear my general talk a while ago. And my mother there listen to Colin Bell while me there, you know. And she listen loud. So me hear him say something a while ago when me have to go over there. Go back and listen to. Hold on there.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
For that all of us is come.
Listen to the Auditor General audited, deal with the issues as they are. We not have to put on nothing. upon this government. For they sing. They already underwater. Is we don't want to pronounce them drown. Let's get serious about business.
Look at RJ have been nice to them. RJ just come and report about Desmond McKenzie like the pepper spray. And look how Desmond McKenzie take them out.
Listen,
look how Desmond McKenzie
I am begging Desmond McKenzie. I'm begging Desmond to take me on because me said Desmond McKenzie are the biggest liar. You are the biggest liar in the parliament. Challenge me about that, Desmond McKenzie.
You want me to tell you one of the life? You want me to tell you one of the life?
Who are the people who are willing to stand up for Jamaica?
Because it later, if I didn't know Sir Lawrence were number.
People who are willing to stand up. Marcy, it is time to defend Jamaica.
Yes.
Who are the people who are willing to stand up for Jamaica? I am calling on the people who are willing, ready, and able to stand up for Jamaica. To hell with PNP, to hell with the GLP. Let's stand up for Jamaica land we love.
Amen and amen, my brother. I got
later.
I see Lawrence Rowe send me a text. If you can talk to me, want to talk to me about something. If I didn't know Sir Lawrence Rowe number, I wouldn't even answer it. But it never have no name for me. When I call back the number and ask, who is this? In Sir Lawrence Rowe, he want to ask me a question. Lawrence Rowe asked me, tell me, he said, Chris and Ramon, the list of the Raytown division, people that were to get the $20,000. Him gave Alia 100 paper farms to fill out. And Alia do all kind of things with the farm them and stupidness, and him give them to Ramon and Chris, and now the people them never get the benefits because it late and the farms them not do. I ask Lawrence Rowe, why you bringing that argument to me? I have nothing to do with the farms. When Una do the things, Una never tell me nothing. Wanna bring. But guess what? Lawrence Rowe go on like him smart. He might try to feel me out if me and Alia and Chris and Ramon in a dialogue. So him want to know if the circle is trustworthy. Your circle, Donovan Williams, not trustworthy because you have Lawrence Rowe in there, walk and talk everything. He might carry news to you and he might carry news to everybody else. So your circle will never private. Never. Because Donovan, me know every single thing where you do, how you do, when you do, where you do. You ask them where you have around you. If me didn't make them know, nothing when me I do any time at all. Them get duties to execute, them never get duties. They never be a part of no decision making because me know me did have a whole heap of boy, girl I deal with. So me know if I say to them and when not to say to them. Leave me alone, Donovan. You hear me, I want you? Leave me alone. Because me know you can't stay in a Central Kingston. You could have not about Jesus, the devil, and you can't stay in here. You hear me, I want to leave me alone, Donovan.
So, that's somebody that did hide. Listen this.
I realize
that
you is lying and Ramon is lying. I am so disappointed in Ramon. Not because him have a political ambition, and nothing is wrong with that. But Ramon been telling lies all the time. The amount of things that Ramon tell me about you, Donovan, where you